And when I mean my own game, I mean our games, of course. Our game in this case. Okay, so let's go over here. I'm streaming on Twitch, on YouTube. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Wow, it's useful for me. So it's what I know it's the good thing to do. But it's also frightening as fuck. Our game, Soviet Anthem, starts playing in the background. Yeah. I added in the background because it's fun. I know it's what we are supposed to do. It's just I'm very afraid of seeing them not enjoy something. On YouTube, it's different. So there's two things. If it's a YouTube video that is specifically made, I think it's different because I can assume that if they made a fucking video out of it, it's because they enjoyed. But watching people play live, for example, to me is horrible. First of all, because there's no editing. So you can see them struggle or not understand, etc., etc. And you can see them also unfiltered, and you can see them having bugs and problems. But the thing is, on YouTube, very often those are just replays from the live streams, right? When Moist Critical played, it was just a replay. When Bob Lennon played, I don't think he made a YouTube video about it. Maybe he made, actually. Bob Lennon. Bob Lennon, c'est un pyro barbare, massacré, déchiqueté, au rythme son hachoir. Sorry. He's making way less views than in the past. Do you know if he has a... No, okay, this is just a... I didn't get a vote yet. Okay. L'ancienne chaîne de Fanta. But we don't care, right? I see. Oh, go fuck yourself. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it actually worked. Yeah, it worked. I posted it a gazillion times. Spoiler alert, he loved it. That's awesome. I started doing something also, noting who was playing Mold Rise, because Raphael Pika shared a bunch of streamers that played it, so I started noting who was playing. I'm also going to make a few posts this week, Willand, about the people that played O.B.O.L, because on socials it's always pretty cool when you share that. People tend to like it, right? So I can say, oh my god, Markiplier played O.B.O.L and I put a little clip or something. People always like that. I'll do that this week. And I'm saying this week as if the week was not even finished. Okay, so this is the wrong account. So first of all, let's switch to Mr. Elliptic. Oh, and he used our game as the thumbnail, right? Basically. Or is it also the character? Is it also another character? Is it another character from another game, or is it just a recreation of our character? It is, right? Because I don't know the other games. It's the old man from O.B.O.L. Okay, perfect. I love the pink mustache. He didn't even use a coin or something. It's interesting. Wow. 38 million subscribers. This is nuts. Oh wow, Marketplace played your game. That's huge. Yeah, Lopoli. Yeah. Played 18 hours ago, and we are already seeing a good wishlist bump. Plus 1300 wishlists approximately, which is huge because before that we basically nearly doubled. I think we doubled because we didn't have a lot of wishlists. So when can we see the new Lamborghini? Not so soon. I guess you guys have destroyed your own record for YouTube views. If you don't count a video that I made myself, then yes. But otherwise, I still have made a video that made like 2.3 million views, so I still hold the record. But it's not about my game, so. I think I put that first. Incredible is not the term. Hilarious. Was talking about one game, yeah. I'm at 1.2 billion views right now, but we've just one will reach out this. Yeah. Should I listen? Okay. Take a moment. Take a moment to appreciate. Mustache. Okay.
Welcome to O.B.O.L. 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 I don't know what O.B.O.L. stands for.
You will find out. Maybe not.
This is kind of, I think, supposed to be a little bit reminiscent of both Shotgun Roulette and also Inscription, which is the card game, the really cool one with a lot of meta stuff going on there. Not meta like Facebook meta. Does Buckshot Roulette. It's time we reevaluate your competence for the job, as demanded by the corporate. For now, formalities first. I'll be needing your mark on the official paper. My mark. Pact of Employee Evaluation. Enacted under the shadow of the old ones. And September... What?
I can't watch all of that.
Urandi. Sign below. Hua. Shua. Poada. Shada. Wombada. Heva. Give me one of those.
I knew it was a good idea. To include the signing. Because people will have fun with it.
And give me one of those.
Oh, there's a little dude in the painting. Look at it. There's a little dude in here. You know this kind of animal that is using his I should make that bigger, by the way. That his it has like a long thing, and it's like stuffing like that. You see what I mean? Trying new signature each time or so. Keep it poor, made it in a lot of videos. This is the main gimmick of it.
Doing, 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 doing. Oh, alright. Aye, right enough, lad. Let us begin the evaluation. Do I have to explain the rules to you, blubbering, slack-jawed landlubber? There's a coin. You guess which side it lands on. Win, you
Why
keep
do I
your
have this?
caps. Lose them all, you lose your head. Each round I add caps and I change the maximum amount.
And I changed! There's a mistake in here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's a mistake. There's a mistake. There's a mistake. Aunt eater. What? Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I add caps and I change the maximum amount. You can bet. You better keep track. Okay. Oh shit, I'm not on the right spot. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I was here. 3 scary games.
You better keep those. Okay, what do I... Oh, so you're actually telling the future. So the wager would have it. It's definitely gonna be a...
He understood immediately. So people now have to understand. They can't say, oh, we don't understand. He understood, so that's fine. Right? We don't need to explain further than that.
Kraken. I'm sure. Shit.
This is the exact feeling that we have when we play the game. You're like, oh my god, yeah, okay, I understand. You bet, and it's red, and you're like, shit. Okay, wait, should I make a joke about hiring him? Like, we should hire you for the voiceover or something, but we can't hire you. No, I'll make a joke about you reading the Latin gibberish was no. I couldn't. I'm like a groupie, you know. I don't know. I couldn't keep it up. No. How do you? I'm confused. I don't know what to do anymore. That's a nice joke. What is a nice joke, Woland? You're taking too long to react. Oh, and the game is right here above the fold. But it's not on Steam. He found it on itch. He didn't even link the Steam page. What the fuck? What the fuck? Go on the groupie side of all the way, it's fine, yeah. Still from itch though. Yeah, true. But the itch page has a big Steam link. Yeah, that's fine. I think he's playing the web version. Really? Oh. There's yeah. There's the Steam link. I couldn't keep it up. How do you say that you that something is too funny? I couldn't keep it. No. How do you say that? I couldn't help but cracking up at the jokes. Yeah, but that's not what I mean. I mean, Oh, or just I couldn't help it. Keep it up sounds like you're talking about your... I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't keep it up. I just said that. I removed everything. I couldn't keep it up. I I couldn't keep it up. Sad. Parenthesis, I'm talking about my dick. 35 plus jokes, finally. I'm in your club, low poly. I am 30, so I can start making those jokes too. I couldn't keep it together. Okay, I couldn't keep it together. Keep it together when you insisted on reading the Latin gibberish. How do you write gibberish? Gibberish. Is it gibberish or does that mean something? By the way, I don't even remember. It's not gibberish. It's not gibberish. Okay, the Latin text. People put the transitions in the comments. Okay. Nice. We need to add even more stuff. It's a contract. I thought it was actually gibberish. I didn't think you took the time to make it something like proper. But that's cool. So what do I say? Thank you so much for playing O.B.O.L. No, I made something cool actually. That's good. That's good. Thank you so much for playing O.B.O.L. I can't wait to see you experience the full game. That's fucking awesome. Maybe at O.B.O.L Dev here, somewhere people know who you are. Don't you think that people get it because I say thank you so much for playing O.B.O.L? I like playing it, you know, a little. Hey, I'm just watching. I'm not saying I'm the dev. And literally, the link is my name. Yeah, I should start with dev here. Really? You think so? Isn't it too much in your face? Thanks for playing my silly game usually. You insist. Okay. Thank you so much for playing. People on YouTube are too dumb to make 2 plus 2. Devs always print it. There are millions comments. Okay. Thank you so much for playing our you'll get a lot of upvotes and get on the top. Yeah, I think it's best because he's read the first words and move on. Okay, I modified it. If you want to like it, it's over there. That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna watch the rest later. It's too fun. That's cool. I need to do it on the other videos. I forgot to do it on the video from I forgot to do it on the video from Moist Critical. And today I'll share later today. I think it was Alpha Beta Gamer. A lot of YouTubers watch him for Discovery. Ah, yeah. I'll post all of those. Give me a sec. I'll be back in just a sec, okay? That's pretty cool. Always good to have a dying children in games. Exactly. Dying children are the best thing. So we can do the bullety bullet. Bullet. Okay, so there's no music, so I will do the music myself. Two. Are you ready? Let's go. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why is it only visual stuff? It's not working. We have a problem. Okay, let's stop everything. Can I rant about people saying hi without the actual question? Or saying, hey, I have a problem without the actual question or problem in the message? I hate that. And you know, we talked about that earlier. Like, I'm not super good at replying to messages. But there is one thing for sure. If your message starts with hi, especially if I don't know you. If I know you, it might be different. But if I don't know you, and you send me a message that is hi or hello or whatever, but the message is not here, I will not reply. I won't reply. I know I have an Instagram DM that is like that. Like the message is hello. I didn't reply. Hello, can I ask a question? Well, now you can't. Exactly. You ask the question, it's enough. You don't have questions anymore. Mais maman, j'en ai marre d'être surveillé par tout le monde. C'est quoi ces histoires de data? J'ai 4 ans, je ne comprends pas. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome, BD back. What is happening? My audio is removed. Okay. The modulate is not being used. The modulate is never used, and that's something that I don't like. One thing, if you enjoyed Moonlighter, or if you want to enjoy Moonlighter, it is free. It is free to keep forever, so you can grab it right now and never play it. So if you are into grabbing games for free and not playing them, you should definitely check out Moonlighter. I think the first one was pretty... like, people enjoyed it a lot, which is less the case for the second one, I think. So this one is not a big risk you take if you're interested. I tried and got bored of the first area, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I've heard a bunch of people say that. Do you know why? Was it just the combat? Is it not good? How is it free? When you are big enough, actually not, you don't have to be big enough, but you have to reach out to Steam to say that you want to make your game free for a limited period of time. Usually people do that whenever their games have been out for a while and like they just want people to try it, or they do that before announcing a second one. And so Moonlighter, I think they did it because the Moonlighter 2 is going to come out of early access. If it was in early access, I'm not even sure. I think it was. I think it's because it's coming out of early access. And they did the same with Gravity Circuit, for example. So Gravity Circuit 2 was announced, and so they made Gravity Circuit 1 free. It's a very simple marketing tactic, let's be honest. By announcing that it's free, everyone will talk about it. Every news outlet out there, or like people on TikTok, Instagram and stuff, are going to say like, oh, Moonlighter is free, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're working on Moonlighter 2. And then they get a bunch of traction on their newest stuff. It's limited time, yeah. It's limited time, but you get it forever. Oui. Je peux laisser ouvert, hein. Mimi. So the free offer is limited, but you get it forever. Remother did that when they announced a new game, yes. Yeah. So it's especially true with sequels. But yeah, honestly, I don't remember the why. I just don't have much to keep me intrigued. But I dropped Hollow Knight too, so okay. I mean, Hollow Knight, I can see how you're dropping it. Because it seems, apparently, especially the first one, is frustrating in how much traversal you have to do. And unless you have the dash and everything, I've heard from people that it can be a bit slow. And Metroidvanias, I think, are very easy to drop because you get invested, and if you don't make progress for a certain amount of time, you're just like, oh my god, I don't know where to go, or I don't know what to do, or it's too difficult, and then you forget about it. It's a bit harder to go back because you have to remember how to play, where are stuff, and it's difficult. Those games are difficult to come back to. Yeah, they're making pretty big promotion of Moonlighter 2, right? And so Moonlighter 2 released, but there's the 1.0 announcement. I'm pretty sure Steam actually talked about doing this, and that they don't want you to put numbers or dates in your Steam capsule, and yet everyone does it. They don't fucking care, apparently. I think they talked about that. Like, they don't want you to put any other text than the actual game text, like special announcement and stuff. But I'm saying this, which is not true. It's not true because you can use the override assets. So I guess they just, yeah, for a limited time, exactly. I guess that's why they introduced the override assets. Because I remember in a blog post they were talking about that. So I guess that's why they introduced the override assets. Because in the backend now, you can override your base assets for a limited amount of time. So I guess that's why it's fine. Okay, I would like to watch this video. We cancelled our new game. I'm interested in that. Because Jonas is it's interesting. It's always interesting. So I'm interested in watching the video quickly. The current capsule is an override assets because I wasn't sure how it performed. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But I think we are not going to be able to compare the performance though, because Markiplier played it. So it's going to destroy the statistics, unfortunately. I think it's interesting though that he used the opponent, right? He used the opponent as the thumbnail and everything. So maybe we have something to play with that. That's the thing. It was doing the same before I changed it. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we need a close-up. Maybe we need a close-up. Maybe we need a high-res version also. Maybe we need to make a high-res version to make it a bit more interesting to look at, in a way. Or we play a lot with the shadows, and so we have the face, but it's kind of... we can do a drawing of it. There's also that. Still his thumbnail as capsule. And we put Markiplier on it. Like, he played. You know what I'm going to do also, by the way? Give me a sec. Markiplier mod that put a pink mustache on the old man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, let's watch that. Hello, Animus. Animus Vox.
Spoiler, we also made some old mistakes. After making so many games, we really should have known better. So we're also canceling our new game. Oh my god, I'm so excited to announce that we're making and canceling our game.
This is the game we've been working on for half a year now.
Do you hear, or it's too low? I think it's low compared to me. Do I have any way to boost it very easily? Give me a sec. It's okay. It's because I have the limiter. Or because my compressor is on. Why do I have a compressor on desktop audio? What the fuck? Oh, it's for the sidechain ducking. Okay. Let me see.
And it's gone. This is not the first time this happened either. I've been documenting my entire game dev journey here on YouTube ever since 2018. That's 8 years ago.
I made this game in game school with two of my friends in 2019. Did quite well.
The first game I showed myself work on online was Oversnova, which
I'll put the subtitles in
There's,
case.
Willy Snell, which was a solo venture of mine. It did okay.
And a similar thing happened when we spent several months thinking that Thronefall was meant to be a card game. It was definitely not. That several months were never getting
very interesting. I made a Patreon post about cards, if you're interested. I think it's an interesting post that you should definitely... I'm sorry, I'm doing my own promotion here, but it's interesting. If you didn't read it, I talk about, do you need cards in your game? Often people default to using cards when they should not. So you should try that. You should read that.
And then, of course, Paul and I teamed up again to make Thronefall, which came out recently, 2024. Wait, that's not that recently, actually.
So now I'm in the fortunate position that I'm full-time indie game dev and I'm creating a new Unity project, about to repeat an unfortunate mistake that we've already made at least once in the past. Wait, do I even remember how to make a game at this point? Also, I got some expectations. We gotta make something good.
And so I got to work with Bracky's tutorial.
So we're making games in a team of 2 again. I'm once again teaming up with Paul. And
I'm predicting something. Let me know what you think. Jonas has been doing video games for a while. For the amount of time he spent making games in his life, he didn't release that many games. But they did better and better each time. And so I'm pretty sure right now he has like a pressure that is becoming bigger and bigger every time he's trying to work on something. And also he seems to have a very specific approach where he's trying to maximize everything. You know, he made videos about finding the right ideas and stuff. He doesn't seem like the type of dev that would pick up any idea and just go for it because he's vibing with it. He seems to be the type of dev that will explore the area, explore the space for a long time to find something that really works for him, for what he can do with a target audience and everything and that is a trap, in my opinion. At some point, it becomes a trap, especially if you don't need the money, because you can just end up in like that weird void for potentially years, actually, where you're just switching from prototypes to prototypes because it's never the right one. And the truth is, there will not be a right one. There will just be the next one that he decides is the right one. That's my take, and we'll see what he's up to.
And one thing we really like doing is starting with a strong fantasy. Gladiators in an arena, battlebots. One thing that we're also doing this time, I guess to raise the stakes a bit, is we're going online multiplayer, which is notoriously difficult, making a lot of developers shy away from it, for good reason, of course. We had some game ideas in mind, and all of them required a character controller of some sort, so I got to work on making a multiplayer character controller. The game ideas we had were very fantasy first, so as mentioned, the gladiators, or maybe some vehicular combat stuff. It wasn't really fully fleshed out yet, because for online multiplayer games you really gotta put in some upfront tech work before you can even really get to prototyping. For the online multiplayer framework, we decided to go with Photon Quantum, which I'm happy to talk about in a more nerdy video another time. So while working on the movement controller, we very quickly realized that this was already quite fun by itself, just jumping around on the little test boxes we had together, even without exploding cars racing around. So we kind of saw an opportunity to maybe make a little bit of a smaller game, because this is our first multiplayer game, and making a very big, beefy, chunky multiplayer game is the first multiplayer game.
Hot take: people with taskbars at the bottom like that are not hidden. Who are you, and what do you want in life? Like, what is up with you? Why are you not hiding that taskbar? You can just make it appear by going on it. Like, are you fucking nuts? You're losing that amount of space on your screen all the time, said the guy with a white theme. So it's the day, low poly. It's the day outside. It's the sky is bright. so white theme during the day, dark theme at night. It's always like that. It's how it's supposed to be. Literally everyone. It's fucking nuts. Like, the taskbar is not supposed to be there. Most of the time you don't need it. So just hide it. Oh my god.
All of a sudden not appealing.
Honestly, try it. Try to hide it and you will see how better it is. How better it is. To be honest, on Windows, the detection to hide and show the taskbar is a little shitty. So it tends to be a bit finicky or take too long. But on KDE you can see how good it is. Because if you go on it, it doesn't necessarily open right away. You actually have to pull. You have to make it appear. You can see the little blue thingy at the bottom, and then you pull, and then it shows. So you don't show it by mistake too often. On Windows, it's a little bit shitty, so you can show it on mistake by mistake. I did it and drove me crazy because I lost all the time to wait for it to appear. Okay, it's because of Windows then. On KDE, it's much better. It's actually, if you know where you want to go, look at how fast it is. It's instant. I didn't switch to white theme as long as dark theme exists. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Think about your eyes.
A smart idea after.
Anyway, do what you want.
What if we remember our big game ideas for later and just try to make like a small stepping stone project to get into things?
Can I intervene a little? They talked about something interesting that I think is a trap as a developer. I might talk about that one day. Maybe make a Patreon post about it. A very small Patreon post. So he said they made a character controller and made it multiplayer, and he said it was already fun. And I think this is a trap. My take on that is, when you make something, this is the I don't know how to call it, but I know it's an actual thing that is happening. When you make something, you tend to rate it better. For example, if you make a pizza, the enjoyment out of the pizza that you're making can be higher than a pizza that you bought. even though it is less good, you enjoy it more because you took the time to make it yourself. You're biased because it's yours, exactly. The amount of effort you pour into something actually gives you a reward. And so, as a dev, it can be a bias because you work on something, especially if it's something new. Like, I can tell you already, I know the feeling that he has right there. The first time you make a character controller that is actually synced on the network, I've done it once in my life. I've done a small network experiment. The first time you make something and it actually moves on the other screen, on another window through the internet, it is crazy. The feeling is crazy. The problem with that is that realistically what I've done was probably shit and nobody cares about it. But it felt good because it was my own stuff and I spent some amount of time on it, right? So yeah, I wear all black anyway, so you're not going to use light theme. It's also good for like a day and then reality hits. Exactly, Animus. It's cool for a period and then after some time you can realize that it's shit. And depending on how much work you spent, I guess it takes maybe a bit longer. So maybe a good thing is you play it. If you think it's cool, you give yourself a few days and then you play it again to see how it feels now that you forgot the work. And you try to get someone to experience it to see if the actual thing that you've made is interesting or not. Same goes with your penis. Probably, yes. That's why it's always good to show your game to someone else. Yeah, exactly. Hello there. Hello, Broccoli. Broccoli, actually. I love the nickname. That's why it's always good to show your game to someone else. True. I agree. One thing to be aware of, though, depending on who it is, they might have a difficulty going past the look. So it might be better to show to other devs, because the other devs will have the ability to not look at the actual visuals yet and just get a feel for your character controller or something else. Whereas if you show it to someone random, they will look at like this and will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It looks like shit. Not Jonas. You don't look like shit. Please go away. Go away. Go away. Yeah, this. Imagine you're showing that to someone random on the street and asking if it's cool or not. It will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is shit. So it's also important to show it to people that are capable, I would say, at first.
Most obvious thing to try. That was okay, but also pretty boring. A breakthrough occurred when I made the climbing prototype, basically just spawning a bunch of random moving blocks, partially moving blocks, and you have to climb as far as possible in 3 minutes, and whoever is the furthest up.
Interesting that he made it moving.
Wins.
It's not something you see in games like that.
But these levels work surprisingly well.
Yeah, considering they're just freaking random cubes. No, I missed my jump. I fell all the way to the bottom. I was too greedy. It was a bit stressful to play, so as an experiment we tried turning it into a co-op game with some abilities, so you could place checkpoints and platforms that your teammates could also use, and you have to run away from the constantly rising water level behind.
What I find really interesting in its approach is that he's going somewhere almost blind. Do you see what I mean? Almost blind. When I start working on a game, I usually have an idea. I usually want to go somewhere. It seems... So maybe it's just for the small experiment that he said he wanted to do. Like, he wanted to make a small multiplayer experiments first before going into something bigger. But he doesn't really have an idea of where he wants to go. He's just fully exploring, which is honestly interesting. Because it takes time and effort to explore like that. You're going to build a bunch of stuff that is going to be thrown away, which is normal when you're prototyping, but in this specific case, because you don't know where you're going, it might be difficult. But I guess he might be enjoying it, especially because he doesn't have the pressure of like time or money. So he might be like, yeah, you know what, it's fun. I experiment. I play test often. We see where it goes. So why not? There's an entire genre that is about climbing in 3D, usually without moving parts. Without moving parts, exactly. So that's why I thought it was interesting that everything was moving. Because it's kind of... it's kind of a cheap way to make the level more interesting and also more replayable, right? And you see that, of course, in rage games. You see some of it is going to be moving, but not everything. And using the entire opposite approach of like everything is moving and maybe from time to time you have something that doesn't move so you can rest is interesting. It might be worth it exploring because these games are usually low effort. Totally, Animus. I agree with you.
And you have to collaborate to not die and survive. As long
You
as
have to
possible. So
play
it's very simple
stuff.
game loop,
Interesting.
But it's cooperative and there's a little more depth with
Interesting.
different abilities you have at your disposal. This was actually surprising.
Oh, imagine a game like that. He said it was collaborative and stuff, and you have a bunch of abilities. Imagine giving abilities like you have classes. Imagine like an MMO, or more like an RPG. You have those classes. So one of you is like the healer. Maybe they have something if you fall to help you, like they can grapple you or they can do something to come to make you go back. Another one is the builder, and they have like the capacity to build games and stuff like that. And then a third one would be one that goes fast, that can push the others. I don't know. Did you play Trying games? Similar vibes? No, I've never. Hey, Gatuno, how are you doing?
Felt strategic. It felt like everybody could contribute something to the team, but it also wasn't too stressful because the checkpoints meant that you could respawn anytime that you failed. As long as somebody's still in the game and can place a checkpoint for you, you can basically just keep going. So it was very relaxing and very collaborative, tactical at the same time. I also tested a versus variant of this with a couple of friends where basically you have two teams of players going up against each other. So each team's playing in co-op mode, but against the other team trying to go higher and survive longer. This was also extremely fun, but probably not feasible for a first-time online multiplayer game project.
This is an extension that you can do easily. You see what I mean? You can make the game cooperative first, and if it's doing well enough, you can add a PvP mode where you increase the amount of players that you have, and now you have teams against teams. I think it's definitely feasible, right? You don't have to do it right away. You can do it in a second stage if it works well enough. I'm doing good, Gatudo. O.B.O.L was played by Markiplier, and so it's driving a bunch of wish lists on the game, so that's pretty cool. And actually, what is interesting is that it's not driving that much traffic to itch. By the way, like we didn't get lots of. I didn't realize that, but we didn't get like a lot of comments or anything on the itch page. It looks like people are just going to the itch page and then wishlisting it on Steam right away. Let me try to find the dashboard really quickly. So you can see the impact. Some people are downloading it, but the impact on Steam is actually much bigger. Please tell me that I've put the right UTM link on here. Otherwise, I can do it. Oh, please tell me I've put the right UTM link. I didn't. How do we do that? I forgot. UTM link Steam. I think we can just do UTM whatever, right? We can do UTM source. Okay. So let's just put UTM source is equal to itch. Yeah. That way we can track. That people are coming from here or not. It doesn't cost us a little anything, but it's pretty cool. If you look at the stats, a big chunk of traffic is from search on Steam. Yeah. I'm not surprised because many people, I think, depending on the viewership, from 50% to 80% of the views are going to come from mobile. So I'm not surprised. Some people are probably watching the video on mobile or maybe on the TV. They saw the name of the game and then they searched it. Yeah, I'm not entirely surprised.
Because if you do anything competitive, it needs to be super duper cheat proof. And I was not confident.
Okay, competitive is that's a fair point to raise. Making it competitive
we just kept going, put some new art
needs to
in the
prevent
game,
cheating.
Tested a new forwards type of map. So in this map, you just gotta go forwards, not upwards. You have to go forwards. I added some.
I like the very unstructured look that it gives of all of those things, like randomly placed and stuff. It's pretty fun, honestly. It reminds me of full structure.
That wasn't very fun.
Hey, Dino Cries, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? You're making a game?
Resources you get from
For
those
Jackie codes
are always shared across the team. So it doesn't matter who in your team collects the collectibles. Everybody gets the same amount from.
Maybe I should be more clear.
From it. This also means that you don't necessarily have to be a front runner. You don't have to climb at the tippy top. You can also be a little further behind and just collect stuff for your team, which was like another play style this added to the game. Another mistake that I think we made during this phase is that very often we played it with a.
Hope you're doing good, Dino Cries. Some stuff lags for me right now. Animations are crashing Godot today. Oh shit.
We had a
oh shit, I hope you'll fix it.
This phase. Like, we really dug it. What we didn't realize is that it was a bit more tricky for other players because the game's not actually that intuitive. The rules need some explaining, and also the skill gap is actually a problem. If players with different skill amounts play the game, then some players can tend to feel a little useless. So there were problems that we didn't notice during that phase. Or I even kind of think we knew about those problems, but decided to strategically ignore them.
Gotta run with a bunch of updates for Godot and O.B.O.L since you had linked in my report for the story. Okay, amazing, well, and thank you.
That one will come to in a little bit. In the meantime, we just kept making the game more beautiful.
Catch you later.
All of the blocks have like a rounded shader to them now, and there's like a better player character. There are different characters that all have different sets of abilities. We made a bunch of new block types like brittle blocks, bouncy blocks, lava blocks. Did a bunch of level generator work, like the level generator spitting out some really interesting stuff now. Obviously, there has to be a grappling hook, a mother freaking custom leaderboard that allows multiple players per entry. So there's like a 3-player leaderboard, a 2-player leaderboard, and so on. To speak of our level select,
hey, Peacebreaker, hello.
Just for every level that you play, levels are organized into cups, and cups can either be eternal or seasonal, allowing us to do stuff like seasonal events and so on. We were kind of even thinking this could become the co-op version of Trackmania. So you're using your collaborative effort as a team to race to the top as quickly as possible using your shared abilities. So we switched to a time-based high score table and made it so that collectibles also reduce your time. So that made for some pretty interesting pathfinding. Paul was also busy on the art side of things. He built this massive arena for the entire games to take place and to hopefully enhance the fantasy a little bit. Fantasy.
There's no fantasy here, right? They got sidetracked. They forgot the fantasy.
I don't want to be an astronaut. I want to be a dodo on blocks.
Yeah.
In an arena.
Yeah. They forgot the fantasy.
No worries, Timmy. I got just the game for you. So when somebody dies, I think I should at least give you the courtesy of telling you their name. We lost Dodo Derby on this wonderful Sunday.
Interesting.
It's really too soon. It's just way too soon. You've only been here for half a year. We nurtured you. We took care of you. We saw you grow. We saw you develop some real personality.
Came up with my disrespectful comment yet, so I didn't say hi.
And now we stepped in.
Maybe you can make a comment about the fact that Markiplier played our game and that it's giving us a bunch of wish lists. If it up. Rule number 1. Yeah.
Back. Sorry, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. Dodo Derby. I'm starting to wonder if maybe the most difficult thing about making games or any creative discipline is just simply sticking to your own advice. One thing we really like doing is starting with a strong fantasy. It's so hard to do. Everybody has pretty good advice on how to make good stuff. but sticking to your own advice once you're in the weeds,
Yes.
it's surprisingly difficult.
Super
When Paul
interesting.
and I made our last big indie game, Thronefall, we spent way too much time prototyping random game ideas that weren't backed by a proper fantasy. That was our biggest learning from the Thronefall prototyping phase, was to always start with a fantasy because the results you get are so much
So
more
you see, this is interesting because this is kind of what we talked about earlier. I said I was kind of surprised at how he was like right over there, right? He was prototyping random things without knowing exactly where he was going, and he ended up canceling the thing because they were going nowhere, and that's what they understood from making Thronefall, and yet they made the mistake again. It's very interesting because you can make the mistake that you have made in the past again. It's very easy to fall into the trap, right? Use the word fantasy is driving me crazy. It's a pretty good description, though. It's a pretty good description. How would you call it? What word? What would you use as a one-word way to say something that appeals to people, that they want to play, that maybe they might be even dreaming of? Like, fantasy is strong. It's not the same as a theme, though. Climbing in itself can be a fantasy, I argue, but you have to lean into that heavily then. True, Animus, the fantasy of climbing can be there, and this is what we have in a difficult game about climbing, or in Cairn, right? You would agree that the fantasy here is not playing as a bold dude, as a random dude, right? This is not the fantasy. The fantasy is using a cool mechanic to climb a world, which is the same as in Cairn, which is the same as in other climbing games, right? And the fantasy is different depending on the angle that you take. This is almost closer to a simulation, I would say. Cairn is closer to a simulation, whereas Juicent is closer to a story. You're climbing for the feels, for the world, for the environment. In Juicent, not really for the technique. It's not that difficult. Juicent is an easy game, I would say. Cairn is much more difficult, at least from my experience. And in this game, the difficulty is part of the fantasy, right? It is the getting over it fantasy. It is using that mechanic and climbing to overcome the difficulties. Cairn's so good in making atmosphere. Totally, I agree. I get what you're trying to say, and fantasy is also genre and a theme, so it's another meaning already. True, but many words in life have different meanings, and at some point you have to. I would say you have to adapt, and you understand what they mean, so that's fine. Or you start proposing a better word.
Appealing. The moment we decided,
I think it's fine. I think the fantasy is fine.
Everything started clicking into place so much
in the idea that you fantasize about it, right? It's a derivative of the word, of the verb, sorry,
and I think
not the genre.
Fantasy, you know which feeling you're chasing. You know how it's supposed to feel like, and even more so, the player also knows how it's supposed to feel like. So it's easier to market and sell later on. In Thronefall, we made another fantasy-related mistake. Namely, that we decided to make it a deck-building card game. Would you like to be the ruler of an epic kingdom? Well, here you go, buddy. If you have a cool fantasy and you know how it's supposed to feel like, but you're not delivering on that, then that is a...
This is interesting. This is something I don't necessarily think about enough. The way you interact with the game really changes the way the fantasy, again, for a lack of better term, is being developed. So the sentence that he used a second ago, like, you want to be the ruler of a very cool kingdom, here you go, you're using cards. And it's like, yeah, okay, I didn't think about it that way. So of course, you could make very beautiful cards with interesting VFX and whatever, and I'm sure it would be fun. But it's true, it doesn't necessarily work. Even if everything is similar, between this idea and Throneful, even if the management is the same, if the attacks are the same and everything, the actual way you interact with the game, because remember, it's a game, so gameplay is still like core at the core of the thing, can change drastically how you experience the game. And a simple decision like, are you making your game top down or first person or third person or something, also changes drastically how you're invested in the game and how you see the game and how you enjoy the game, right? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't necessarily realize that the first idea you have about how a game should be played is not necessarily the right one, right? If it were when used in games, didn't still have its original meaning being used. I understand what you mean, but I feel like you're being pedantic for no reason, because appeal to word that means exactly what you're trying to say, and it doesn't have to change its meaning. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep using fantasy because I think it works. That's two meanings for one word. Yeah, that's fine. There are plenty of games out, plenty of words out there that have a gazillion meanings. And it's totally fine.
It's a little bit of a hard sell to say, would you like to be an alien gobbledygook? I have the game for you. And then on top of that, the same as with Dodo Derby, the rules were too confusing. Confusing rules plus bad or non-existent fantasy is a bad combination. So we knew all of that. And yet we decided to make a game about dodos on blocks, on flying blocks. The story we were telling ourselves was that for the first time in Grizzly Games history, we were making a gameplay first game. Like, the gameplay is so solid, it's gonna carry this game. And we're just gonna slap some cute skin, like with the dodos, essentially on top of it. Now, slowly but surely, the realization hit us that the gameplay had problems that were not trivial to resolve. For example, the game is not very self-explanatory at all. It's just the rules feel kind of arbitrary. You need somebody to explain the rules to you very specifically. The reason why the rules got so complicated is because we were trying to patch over problems in the gameplay, but it just got more
very interesting. So what is always interesting to take into what we have to remind ourselves is this is one way of making games. It's not applicable to everything. The Jonas way of making games with the fantasy, with the gameplay that solidifies everything, whatever. Some games are not like that, and it's totally fine. Some games are heavily story focused or are doing things that are weird and are difficult to explain, and it's part of the game. So it's not universal. It's an interesting way of thinking about stuff, but it's not universal. That being said, I wanted to say something and I forgot. That being said, this idea of the game is difficult to explain, and that is a problem, I can understand why it's a problem. Hey, New Junk, I'm doing fine, and you? Because there is complexity and complexity. For example, a 4X game can be complex, and you have to explain the rules. It's fine, because from the outside, you understand what it is, and you understand that it's complex, and you need to know the rules. Okay, you're with me. But with this type of game, you understand vaguely what it's about, but you don't really understand why it's fun or why is it different. And all of the rules, he said it himself, are here to patch problems. The rules are not here because they make sense to make the experience the best possible. They're just here because the base idea is not strong, and you're just trying to patch the holes everywhere. So you end up with a bunch of rules, and it's like, why this specific thing, right? This is interesting. And maybe you can find yourself, if you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to patch holes all the time, maybe it's because the core idea or the core gameplay, the core rules are not clear enough or not interesting enough that you need to patch them all the time, right? I'm just jumping in here, so I don't know the context, but is it a difference between the garden approach versus a blueprint approach? I'm sure there is a term for it. Doing good here. I'm not sure what you mean. I think finding the fun is probably more understandable than garden. Okay, so the garden approach or the finding the fun is like you explore stuff. You just drop yourself into a place and you try a bunch of things and see what is fun and what is not. Whereas the blueprint is like you're following a structure.
More and more confusing every time we did that. Let's forget all of that. Let's have a look at this from a completely different angle.
Yeah. I think sometimes you want to make a game and you know the genre and you know the rules roughly, so you're kind of following the blueprint. Yeah, that's true. Whereas other times maybe you only have like a game mechanic or an art style and you're trying to explore. But Jonas seems to be finding the fun. Yes, totally. The thing that is difficult with finding the fun is that he wants to have a strong fantasy for the game, so he cannot go. He cannot go anywhere. That's exactly what the 11 minutes of this video were showing. They were basically trying to find the fun. They found something that they thought was fun, but then they look at it from the outside and they're like, it doesn't look like anything. There's nothing. There's no strong fantasy. There's nothing grabbing people, you know? It's just like random stuff to make the gameplay work. Like you're playing dodos on random blocks because you need to work. It's like, I saw that vid some hours ago. So you get it, right? And it's very difficult to have both, I think, at the same time. Like having a strong fantasy and finding the fun is very difficult. I guess you can do both, but you need to do a bit of both. So maybe you go in a certain fantasy, and then inside of that fantasy, you give yourself the ability to explore. You let yourself explore a bit more. Get what? What we were talking about, if you saw the video. We are talking about like finding the fun or following like a structure more. Mechanics first versus a theme story first. Regardless which approach you take for prototyping, you should know your fantasy.
When we started making this game, I thought this is gonna be so chill. Like we're in such a good spot at the moment. We don't have any financial pressure. We can take as much time as we want.
I called it.
Need this game.
I called it at the beginning.
Like, we are fine. So
I called it at the beginning of the video.
The most chill development
I called it.
Process ever.
I talked about that.
Been quite chill. But now I think what Paul and I are all of a sudden realizing is there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there is pressure. I called it.
Like our own expectations.
I fucking called
what
it.
We can do. They're up there. We don't want to make some mediocre game. Like Don't Dirty would have been fine. It would have been some cool mediocre game. It probably would have done okay.
He's not sure.
We're not content with that. Not every game we make needs to be a viral super hit. You know, you win some, you lose some. But we want to know during development, we want to feel like that there's a chance. There's a small glimmer of hope that the game's gonna do really, really well. That glimmer of hope, it just wasn't there anymore. Long story short, we scrapped everything. We went back to the drawing board, determined to just pick a great fantasy and to build a great game.
Oh, BattleBots.
That fantasy, following our own freaking advice. If I don't want to get yelled at,
I've been thinking about BattleBots for a while. Someone actually made the game I was imagining. I was imagining a Beyblade Auto Battler game, a Beyblade-like Auto Battler. And that's kind of like what you have with BattleBots. I was imagining about an Auto Battler, but I think people are doing it already with Beyblades. I feel like it's kind of the perfect genre. Like you let people build stuff. You even introduce maybe a bit of physics and stuff, and then you let them play. The problem is that you would let them play against not just against bots, I guess, to make it very cool. So it would need to be a multiplayer game, and I simply can't do that. I think it's probably a gradient, because with all projects, there's some amount of finding the fun, having a fantasy you're trying to adhere to, just add some extra limitations or guardrails to your exploration. I agree. And I think finding the fun should not be done, like it's not a one-time thing, right? It's not It's not like at the beginning of the project you find the fun and then you just apply everything. At many points during development, you have to go back to a prototyping mode in a way where you try stuff and you're like, okay, I'm trying this. Is it working? Should I go there? Should I go this? Should I change that value to this or to that? There's always a bit of exploration. It's just that you explore the branch that you are in instead of exploring all of the possible branches at the beginning. You're like on a branch, a pretty solid branch, and then you're just trying to find like precisely in which direction you want to go, but the general direction is already there. And the guardrails also helps with, they help with knowing where you go and what is the end goal, like what is the feeling you want to get when you play the game, or again, the fantasy. By the way, I missed a message from you. I mean, it's hard to make a good game in general, especially when you're trying to chase the fantasy rather than the appeal. It's hard to make a good game in general, especially when you're trying to chase the fantasy rather than the appeal. Peacebreaker, I know you said you were done, but I would love to, if you can expand on that. What do you mean? To me, fantasy and appeal can be the same. We can use them interchangeably. I was just joking. Okay. No pressure. Jonas is very self-reflective. Yeah. I think being self-reflective is one of the skill. I would say it's a skill, right? You can learn it. It's a skill that you need as a developer, or in general, as someone who is making stuff, you need to be self-reflective, but, big but, huge but you need to be self-reflective at the right time. It is very easy to judge your stuff before it's ready to be judged, right? I know I do that a lot. I tend to doubt the things I do the moment I start doing them, and usually it's not good. It's like you think about it, you execute, and then you look at it. You can't be self-reflective in the while you're doing stuff. Otherwise, you do nothing, and you're constantly changing things or canceling things. Leave the mediocre games for us plebs to make. You know what? I'm fine with making mediocre games because I think this kind of huge pressure, depending on how you manage it, this huge pressure can lead to one thing. Can lead to two things. It can lead to multiple things. Let's be honest, but it can lead to two major bad things, I would say. One, you're not happy with what you're doing. You're never happy with the stuff you make, and so you feel miserable. Two, you just make nothing. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer never getting a game from someone that you admire? Like, let's say, I don't know, maybe you love what Jonas is doing. What do you prefer? Do you prefer never getting games, or getting games that are good but not like life-changing? I would prefer to get good games, and I would argue that Thronefall is a good game, but it's not a masterpiece. You know what I mean? And it's fine. Like, not everything has to be a masterpiece, and not everything can be a masterpiece, actually. The fantasy you sell to your players is the appeal. Yeah. It's a skill for everyone self-employed or doing any kind of project. Yeah. But I think it's also a skill even if you're doing something as a hobby, you know? In your hobby, if you want to get a little bit better, being able to self-reflect is good. I mean, as a person in general, being able to self-reflect is good. But yeah, it was meh. Are you talking about Thronefall? Just want your 10 to 20k sales and you're good. Oh yeah, totally. I just want to be able to survive. That's the first step for me. I just want to be able to continue what I'm doing. I think the fantasy is what the dev has. The appeal is what the player gets. And there's the communication between the dev and the player exists, if that makes sense. Okay, the fantasy is what the dev has, and the appeal is what the player gets. I don't know if I see it that way, because you could argue that the player will live the fantasy, right? So I'm not sure. Initial, but if I'm stressed making games, I want to have money and be stressed. You prefer to have money and be stressed? Yes. I think the reality, the truth, is that no matter the amount of money you have, you'll still be stressed. It will not immediately get easier because you have money. It will just be a different kind of stress. And it's better to have a stress that is not, am I going to be able to pay for food or for rent, right? So I think I agree with you. I would prefer to have the stress of, am I going to make a banger game or an okay game? I think I prefer that. GRRM is your example for your second case. What is GRRM? Get ready with me. Me right now. Coach me a Lopdog. 3 minutes a day. Yes, 3 minutes is equal to $10. Absolutely hobby projects too, yeah. Would you rather have unlimited bacon and no video games, or unlimited video games and no video games? LMAO. That's true. Yeah. Mechanics first is a legit way to make games, emo, especially puzzles. Mechanics first is a legit way. Yes. I think you need something specific about that, though. When you're going mechanics first, you need the ability to come up with a fantasy, again, for lack of a better word, that is interesting, and it's not something that is inherently present. Like, you have to learn that. It's a specific skill. I'm pretty sure, actually, there are some people out there, and I've been part of that. You can think about cool mechanics pretty easily, but it's difficult to think about a way to show that mechanic in an interesting way. Like, give the player an interesting world to explore that mechanic. And sometimes I'm amazed at the opposite, at how people are able to create interesting games where the mechanics are relatively simple. And I'm like, oh my god, you can make games like that, basically, right? You can make games with very basic things because the setting is interesting. So it's really a skill to develop, and it's not an easy skill to develop, I would say. I think it's really not an easy skill to develop. The first heart attack is always the worst. The author of Game of Thrones. Exactly. Yes, but it's an example that I think we are seeing a lot. When people get successful, they tend to not continue. The developer of O.B.O.L has been stuck. I mean, I'm putting words into his mouth. It's not totally true. He has not been stuck, but he talked about it in a podcast, right? He said that he tried a bunch of stuff, but he didn't find the right thing. And I guess because of the low pressure, it's also, you're like, it's fine. And time flies, right? Time flies. You work a few hours a day, you live your life, and 1 year, 2 years, 3 years are going to pass, and you're not going to see it. So, yeah, it's also a risk. Simple yet it works. Thank you, DevNut. People love simple mechanics with a lot of depth. Yeah, true. Because it's easy. It's also easier to sell, right? If you're showing something that people can understand in one clip, they're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. It's this. And then what they'll have to understand in the game is actually how to make use of that to the biggest, to the deepest extent. I think you're just using the word now because you know I don't like it. I won't control you enough. No, I don't. I love Lexispell. The only issue with it is that word games brings out a different type of people than puzzle games, even if the word is a puzzle game. People have different feel to spelling and coming up with words versus a visual puzzle or something, for example. Totally. It's way less logical. Puzzles are usually more logical, right? Mecha did it very well. I would go further with Mecha to explain why it's successful. There are plenty of reasons, right? It is big potential for it's clip farming at its core. It's made for that, right? But I think it's also player expression. I would go further, but maybe this is kind of what you're saying when you're saying simple mechanics with lots of depth. It's not just that the depth exists in itself. Let's take an example. PoE, maybe? I don't know the game very much, so correct me if I'm wrong, but PoE is probably a simple game in like it's the way it works. It looks like Diablo, like you click on spells and whatever, but there is a lot of depth in the tree and in the complexity of the game, okay? But the complexity is already there. It's not, you don't create the complexity, it's already there. Whereas if you take a game like Minecraft, basically sandbox games, so a game like Minecraft, or in this case, a game like Make a Chameleon, you have a mechanic, and then you have player expression. You let the players express themselves. Some of them are going to be shit, but they are going to express themselves by being funny with their friends, by doing stupid shit, by hiding in weird places, etc. Some people are going to have a lot of fun being really good at the game. So I think it's an interesting kind of depth, because it's depth but with width at the same time, if you see what I mean. It's not just there is one hole and you can get really deep in that hole if you want, which is PoE. There is depth, but in the way you express. So it's more like you can actually, it's like flat, you know? You can go in different directions. Maybe I'm wrong. People like small number of mechanics, but large number of dynamics. Yeah, interactions. Basically, this is what games are about, right? What would you take? What would you take? Very super high fidelity graphics or incredible amount of interactivity? I would go with interactivity all the way, all the time. Like, this is what Noita is doing so well. Noita doesn't look incredible, but the mechanics and the level of interactivity between the elements and between like what you can do in the world is crazy. This is why people love it. This is the same thing with Minecraft in a way. There's a bunch of interactions, and you can interact with the world because you can literally reshape the world. And I don't get why AAA games are going into the ultra realistic stuff all the time. I think the truth is I do get it. They go there because it's easier in a way. You can just, if you want to go ultra realistic, the only problem that you have is money, because technically you can push the limits. You just need to throw money at it, right? You take more time to do stuff. You pay more artists. You go higher poly count, bigger textures and stuff like that. I'm not even sure about interactivity as much. Cookie clicker style games, very little interactions, but the mechanics interplay with creates interesting dynamics. Yeah, true. So interactivity can be in the game itself. It doesn't have to be you with the game. It can be the elements in the game are reacting with each other. Like, the game has things that are intertwined. It creates some sort of complexity in a way. Mecha did it very well. Mecha, or it's Japanese. Yeah, but I guess unfortunately the rule of the world is that we pronounce stuff as in English, right? It's easier to call it mecha if you see a C. Actually, in French, you would call it mecha. But yeah. Graphics sells easily on screenshot, but gameplay doesn't. I think that's why they go that way. Yeah, true. That's also very true. I think a lot of people feel like things when it comes to words are harder because it's almost like I use them every day, but I'm smart enough to come up with them. Yeah, I see. It creates a niche within a niche. Yeah. Very true. Okay, let's continue that.
Fantasy.
Interesting discussions.
Our own freaking
If I don't want
it's
to get
interesting.
yelled
At in the comments, then I have to say this is not the
I
only way
knew
to
it
make
would
successful
spark some
indie games.
discussions.
There are a lot of different approaches. You can also make very gameplay-oriented games and have them be very successful. This is just what works for us. But every time we don't do this exact workflow, we regret it afterwards. Looking at our old scratchboard, what was staring us right into our faces
Arena
and into
Gladiators.
our souls was this. The Gladiator Fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have an arena in our game, so...
Okay. It's interesting, right? Because fantasy also is how the players will project. Right now, seeing just that, like you it's like you do combat inside of an arena. To me, it's less interesting. I understand why they dropped the previous idea about jumping up in like this weird environment made of cubes, because it's like it's not sellable enough. But I could actually see myself having a lot of fun, especially with friends. Whereas all of a sudden, we are just at the beginning, right? I'm seeing like 2 seconds of gameplay with capsules, so I might be wrong. But right now, what I see is less interesting to me, because it's like another combat game. We are seeing that all the time. I can play many other games if I want to fight stuff with my friends, I feel like. I need a good fantasy game to come out, a real one. I can't wait for Fable to come out. Fable? How do you call it? Fable, I guess, right? In French, fable. Fable. Yeah, Fable probably is going to be cool.
The Thronefall flashbacks are definitely real, because once again we got a bunch of beans fighting against each other. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it just means we got a bunch of experience with this kind of crap already. So this, by the way, is a very quick prototype. This took like 1 or 2 days.
One thing I'm gonna say, I know it's a quick prototype. Looking at this is just Tabs Wars Wars. I see what you mean. One thing that is very interesting, let me know what you think. I see the appeal here, okay? Tell me if you see what I mean. I see the appeal here because of the view. That is the only difference. In here, I see the appeal because I get the sense of scale, right? I see a bunch of things. I understand that there is less green stuff than red stuff, and I understand that my character can have some amount of impact. And then we switch to that.
A bunch of beans fighting against each other.
Okay.
That's not necessarily a bad
Shut
thing.
up.
It just means we got a bunch of experience with this kind of crap. I'm definitely shocked. They're like a bunch of...
Where's the... And then we switch to that.
Bad.
And here, all of a sudden, I don't see the scale. I don't have a sense of scale. You see what I mean? I only see what's in front of me, basically. Even though I'm able to see a bunch of players in the distance and whatnot, what I see when we are playing in a third person, what I see is this. I see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I see a 3v3, and that is it. So maybe it's a question of arena, maybe the arena is too big, maybe it needs to have way more gladiators, or maybe it needs to have a sense of scale, like some of them needs to be huge and whatnot. But interestingly enough, they are kind of the same thing, but the angle of the camera changes everything for me. This is appealing, this is not. Cool. Graphics are for the marketing team. Yeah.
Quick prototype. This took like 1 or 2 days to make with the systems we already had.
But let's see where they're going.
Pretty much agreed that the magic was back. We scoured Steam for Gladiator games, and what we found definitely shocked.
Not a lot of Gladiator games.
Because we kind of found nothing.
Yeah,
nothing that was
interesting.
really serving the fantasy properly and doing it justice. There are like a bunch of 2D indie games. There are also a bunch of physics, simulation, combat games, which is also not what we want to do. We who are about to die...
Oh my god, you remember that clip? In the center. Character prominently displayed in the center. In the center. And it was not in the center. Anyway,
close
good clip.
Fantasy, but in terms of gameplay, we want to do some things quite differently, and also doesn't seem to have multiplayer. So we found some freaking free real estate. There's always a chance we could be wrong. Let's hope we're not wrong. But this looks very, very promising. Now here's maybe the hard.
Yeah, it could be that we don't care about gladiators at all.
You will never know. We will never know what could have been with Dodo Derby.
Okay. I thought they were canceling it again.
It's also a decision against something.
Yeah, saying yes to something is saying no to all of the other options.
Like, I'm sad for all of the games that are...
This is why it's difficult to make choices, right? Because when you say yes to something, saying yes is easy. But the reality is that when you say yes, consciously or not, you know that you're saying no to all of the other things. If you see it that way, let's say a game takes like between 6 months and 2 years to make. Let's say you want to make small games, so you take a maximum of 1 year, okay? How many years do you have left to make games? Realistically, I'm 30. I will make game until I'm like 50, 60. Maybe not after that, because I will be too old. And realistically, you can't make a game every year because you have to have time for like console porting or like taking time off and stuff. So maybe right now, maybe I have like 15 games more, maybe less, maybe a bit more. So every time I work on something, I basically say yes to one thing and no to a bunch of other things that I will never go back to because I will never have the time to do it. Wasn't For Honor kind of everything he's saying? Maybe, but For Honor is more like 1v1 in a way. You have, of course, you're fighting against other people, but it's less. I guess it's less what he's imagining, which is a bunch of things on screen at all time, and you fighting against AI with your friends, like PvE, but with friends. But For Honor is closer to 1v1, right? To no. For Honor minions do feel bad because of the perspective. What is For Honor minions? Like it's another game?
Not made, but like a different game is now.
There's 1v1 and 2v2.
That would not have been made.
You can do
otherwise.
exactly that in tabs. You can control any of your minions. Interesting.
We don't know what could have happened. We don't know. We will never find out.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because I think he missed the point a little bit. Do you agree with me? By thinking about the fantasy, which is gladiators, he reduced the scope so much that he became blind to things that are adjacent or like very, very close. You could argue that tabs is gladiators. Because does it really matter if it's gladiators or knights? No, it doesn't. I think it doesn't that much. People don't care that much, right? So maybe he's missing the bigger picture that some of the games already do what he wants to do better, or just that they do it, because he's focusing on the gladiator aspect, which is like so fucking niche. Like, I don't know, the last time I thought about gladiators was maybe 15 years ago. I don't think about it every day, but thinking about controlling some sort of army or being part of that army, okay, I can think of that more often. Doesn't matter if the army is futuristic or a bunch of silly jelly things or fish or gladiators. I don't care that much. I care about the fantasy is closer to a bunch of stuff fighting in a messy arena, right? It's closer to that than to the gladiators themselves. You can use the gladiator as a way to think about the fact that there is going to be special things, an arena, people watching you and stuff like that can help. But is it that strong of a fantasy, that period of time? I don't know. But in team games, there are minions, etc. And the big map is no 1v1 anymore. Yeah, I see what you mean. You can do exactly that in tabs. You can control, or in tabs case, people don't care if it's gladiator or elephants. They just want an interesting army to fight. Exactly. You want something funny. You want something fun to fight. And if you're sticking too strong to gladiators, it can be unfun, because then it goes closer to a simulation, and maybe it's not what people are looking for. Knowing what Jonas did with his other games, I don't think he's going to stick necessarily to the gladiator theme that strongly. Like, I think it's fine to add things that are not realistic or like weird, right? I think he understands that. I think there is a game exactly what he's describing, multiplayer and arena, a bunch of people fighting, can't remember the game. Isn't that Gorn? But Gorn is a VR game. Isn't that Gorn? But I don't know if it's... It's very physicky. It's very physicky, so this one is different. Because it's closer to... But I mean, this kind of stupid movement and stuff at a bigger scale can be fun, actually. I can see that working really well at a bigger scale. So instead of fighting 1 or 2 things at a time, you're fighting hundreds of them. I think Chivalry too. But Chivalry is very... It's very, how do you call that? Very high fidelity, right? Oh, but you are on a battlefield. I think he wants to go closer to a party game. So, less serious. But yeah, it's interesting. Basically what I'm trying to say, maybe we don't have the full process, right? Also, let's remember that it's just a video, and we are discussing like 20 seconds of a video. It's totally possible that they explored all of those games and they just didn't talk about it. They just didn't talk about it because they wanted to say that in the gladiator theme, and not necessarily the fantasy, but the theme of gladiators, we don't have a lot of games. But I guess the fantasy that they're going for exists in a bunch of other games, like maybe Chivalry, maybe Gore, and maybe other ones. I don't know. It's fucking slow. I don't know what's happening. Okay, this looks cool. I thought it was very simulation-like, but maybe it's not. Chain Beasts, pretty cool game. Chain Beasts, yeah. Yeah, okay. The sense of scale, you have a bunch of people fighting. It gets messy, you can get attacked. Okay, this is cool. I understand why people like that. That looks actually pretty fun. Oh my god. The smallest price is $3.89. Adding to my wish list. And it's currently at $7.79. Because there's a second edition. Wow. That looks pretty cool, actually. Anyway.
We will find out about another thing that we would not have found out about if we had gone for that other thing. Still. It's sort of a hard pill to swallow. We will never know what could have been. We're making a freaking gladiator game! Let's go!
Okay.
6 to 9 months that we spent on Dodo Derby, they're not really lost. We developed a lot of new skills during that time. Paul is starting to become a genuinely good 3D artist, single-handedly doing 3D models, animation, texturing. At the same time, I learned how to make online multiplayer games in a way that doesn't even really feel like it's slowing me down during development. It was a bit difficult to wrap my head around. Sometimes we get criticized for making it appear as if everything was super simple. No, it's not. It's actually difficult to learn these things. It requires time and effort. But I feel very well prepared now for whatever.
So it basically did what they wanted, right?
Make in the future. But I think this is where we say goodbye.
It basically did what they wanted. They wanted to get more comfortable with multiplayer and stuff. Instead of making the actual game, like they don't need to make it and release it. They learned what they had to learn. They made the mistakes, and so they can use all of that into their new game and make a better game. So why not? It was basically a learning experiment. Chivalry about chaos, destroying house, steal peasants, scream a lot. That's pretty cool. Okay, that sounds cool.
Open a new one, and we will start.
They're millionaires now. They can afford anything. Yeah, true. New project. Oh, using Unity 6. Oh my god, create project. Okay, the journey continues. Well, that was cool, Jonas. Excited to see what they're going to come up with. I'm gonna be real. It might be because this is closer to the final product, and this is closer to the very first prototype. But I have a hard time seeing this as very fun right now. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure they can do cool things. It's just that right now the arena is huge and it's flat, and there are not enough beans to make it interesting.
But
I'm pretty
feel
sure they will
very
figure
well
out
prepared now
something
for
cool,
whatever
right?
multiplayer game we'll wanna make in the
Whereas
future.
in this one, I can already see the fun. I can already see the fun in the Dodo game.
In a way that doesn't
Uh,
even really feel like it's
because
slowing
it's
down
like
during
climbing
development. It
stuff,
was a
and I
bit difficult to
get
wrap my
it.
head
I'm
around.
like, yeah, okay, I understand it.
Sometimes we get criticized for making it appear as if everything was super simple. No, it's
But
not.
yeah,
It's
let's see
actually
the next
difficult to
one.
learn
Let's see
these
the next
things.
one,
It
and I'm
requires
pretty sure it's gonna be it's gonna be cool. All right, that was cool. That was cool. It took so long, right? How long was it? It's like nearly 5 p.m. But also we took a lot of time talking about Markipliers and everything. So if you want to check it out for yourself, here it is. There's no Steam page right now. Let's take a look at Thronefall really quickly. Oh my god. 4 million estimated revenue. Okay. Yeah. Is it on the Switch? It is on the Switch also. Holy shit. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It did very well. It did very well. So I think that's also why they're comparing. I guess you get it. It makes sense. They're comparing their next game to that, and I think it's not necessarily in terms of quality, but in terms of commercial success. When you have such a big commercial success, I guess you feel inclined to reproduce the commercial success. But yeah. And they sold it, no? No, it was... I mean, they have Mythright, so they sold it to Mythright. Is that it? They sold the IP, no? They made a video about it. But I remember that they sold the IP of... Maybe I'm confusing something. They sold the IP for Islanders. I'm pretty sure about it. I think they sold the IP, but I'm not sure about Thronefall. Yeah. What extension do you use for Steam? How is it called? Add-on extension. Revenue. Fuck. I know I have it somewhere. Shit. I think it's Steam Calculator or something. I think it's Steam Calculator. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm sure I have it. Steam Revenue Calculator. I know I have a command for that, but I don't remember the name of it. Let's put back some music. Honestly, he probably has enough money to do this forever. At that point, I could just pump out games I find fun and just make fun money, and then the occasional large-scope games when feeling inspired to tell a particular story. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But they also created a studio, so I guess they see it kind of differently because they have a studio, you know. So maybe they want to have a reputation also. I think that also is fair, like a reputation. If you don't want to think about the quick wins, but you want to have your name out there, kind of like how Devolver is getting, the reputation of Devolver is changing now. But so far, they have that reputation of being a cool publisher that publishes cool games, right? And so if you see that something is getting published by Devolver, you might be more inclined to test it, to give it a try, because you're like, oh yeah, I usually like what Devolver is publishing, so let's figure it out, let's check it out. Same thing for Landfall. Landfall, for example, I think they have a very strong, they have a very strong theme, fantasy. I don't know. They have something very strong about them. So if they're announcing a new game, you will probably be interested. Hooded Horse, I found recently to be great. Yeah, you see, there are publishers or developers out there that you know you're going to get excited. Mike Klubnica is a good example. You know you like his industrial horror style, you've enjoyed his games, you've enjoyed Split, you've enjoyed Buckshot Roulette and stuff. Whenever he's publishing something, you're checking it out. Mrs. is also a great example. He has a strong style. His games are usually in the same atmosphere or theme. So if he's making something, you want to check it out. It doesn't mean that you will enjoy it, but you will be tempted to check it out for yourself. I think we can agree on that. I've purchased every game I can from Mike. I love all its work. You see. And I think this is something that Jonas wants to do, especially now that they have a studio together with his co-developer. I guess they want to have that, to speak in very bullshit corpo terms, they want to have that brand recognition, right? They want you to think, oh, it's a game from Jonas from, I don't actually know their studio name. I want to check it out. Because that's huge, right? That's huge. In today's landscape where you have a gazillion games coming out on Steam every fucking day, it's kind of cool if you have a name out there and people are checking your game because they recognize your game, or maybe recognize your name, or maybe publishers are interested, or maybe other developers are interested, or content creators are looking at your game in priority because they know that it's going to be something cool. When you are a no name, it's always harder, right? So all of that to say, yes, they can probably afford to do stupid stuff just for fun, but the pressure is probably there so they can actually sustain that high quality seal, like the Nintendo high quality seal that you have on the game. I'm taking a small break to grab a coffee and a little biscuit. I want to eat a little biscuit, and it's pretty late, so I'm probably going to prototype the incremental game a little bit. I'm not going to work on O.B.O.L right now because I can't do that right now. So I'm probably going to work on it a little bit because I need to work on it. Ideally, I should try to do the no days off. Like you always work on your stuff a little bit because I'm trying to juggle a bunch of different things. What are you up to now after Lexispell? We are working on O.B.O.L. We are very lucky that Markiplier played it earlier today. Earlier yesterday, sorry. Markiplier played it yesterday. So very, very cool. It's bringing a bunch of wish lists to the game. That's super freaking cool. And at the same time, I'm prototyping an incremental game. So in the past, it was a meat extraction, meat processing incremental game, but I'm changing the thing because it's too hard, it's too big. So I need something smaller, and I will show you that. A coffee that late? Yeah. I'm not sensitive to coffee. I'm suspecting I have ADHD. I'm in the process of finding out. And usually ADHD people have basically no reaction to to coffee. It actually helps me go to sleep usually. Can you share progress on the incremental? I will. I just take my break and I show you stuff, okay? And remember that old version of Meat Grinder. Yeah. So just drink it for the taste then. Yeah, I drink it for the taste and to have something like to have something in my system. And also I try to use like a placebo effect. Like I drink the coffee when I want to get stuff done. So I try to use that as like a trigger. Like, okay, I'm drinking the coffee, so then it means I'm working. But yeah. It's hard to get reaction after 30. and we were talking about the dick right now. We were not talking about coffee anymore. Okay, I'm gonna try to get some reaction. See you very soon, okay? And wishlist O.B.O.L on Steam. See you in 3 minutes. Enjoy your clips. anchor point. Main character positioned prominently in the center. In the center. In the center. In the center. This is the definition of center from the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. This is the definition of center. This is literally his definition of center. Clearly on the fucking right. I am 30, by the way, in case you're wondering. Actually, we're not circumcised over here, so let's do that. And then we have a little vein over there, and maybe a vein in here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how many points we do every time we kill a... Oh, the points. Oh no! All of that to lose the combo. In one fucking mistake, I lost everything. I would like my fish to be long. Hello, my name is Fish. And when I talk, I elongate. I am a long fish. The longer I talk, the more I elongate. Okay, so there's no music, so I will do the music myself. Two. Are you ready? Let's go. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why is it only visual stuff? It's not working. We have a problem. Okay. Let's stop everything. That's pretty cool. Always good to have a dying children in games. Exactly. Dying children are the best thing. So congrats. Huge congrats to Daniel Mullins. Huge congrats. I'm going to follow you, of course, because I want to see what you're doing. What are you usually doing? Bloop, keep it alive. Sacrifices must be made. It looks like... Okay, what? Okay, what? What? Okay. I think I understand. That explains a lot. It makes sense. Okay. I was lying on the back like before going to the party or something, like for like 5 minutes, and she came right on my chest. It was terrible. Terrible because she's heavy. She's fucked. We want a polygon to have a look, and we want a label to have what? The letter. Exactly. Congrats. Kong the fucking rats. I will put that as the one I want. I fucking I saved again! I fucking saved! I hate my life. I hate my life. I do Control S all the fucking time. And now it takes like 5 seconds. Oh, it's really time to stop. Godot, you're frustrating. Godot, you're frustrating. Godot, you're frustrating. What am I doing? 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 Rot, 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 rot. What the fuck? If I do it fast enough, I can just make it rotate. Like a helicopter. But with a label. Back. Dupe, dupe. Okay. Dupe. 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 Okay. Can I rant about people saying hi without the actual question? Or saying, hey, I have a problem without the actual question or problem in the message? I hate that. And you know, we talked about that earlier. Like, I'm not super good at replying to messages. But there is one thing for sure. If your message starts with hi, especially if I don't know you. If I know you, it might be different. But if I don't know you, and you send me a message that is hi or hello or whatever, but the message is not here, I will not reply. I won't reply. I know I have an Instagram DM that is like that. Like the message is hello. I didn't reply. Welcome B. Welcome B to Welcome B. Same, I feel nothing from caffeine except heart beating faster after the 5th coffee. Yeah, I try to reduce a little bit. To reduce, I'm drinking something else. I don't remember the name. I don't know the name in not in French, but I'm. Oh fuck, my biscuit. I'm drinking one replacement in the morning, and one usually like the last one at 6 or 7 p.m. So I went from, let's say, 5 coffees to maybe just 3 during the day. So that's cool. I need to find a clip from there. So do you want me to show you the previous game? I don't know if I show you the incremental. So this is the minor mining. I'm gonna say mining because minor is too close to minor, and I don't know how to pronounce it, so it's different. Is it the updated version in here? I think it is. Incremental 3D. Please launch. Is it not launching because I don't have that version anymore? It's probably a new Godot version and I didn't update my script. Incremental 3D. Is it this one? I'm confused. Keep forgetting which Linux are you using. Kashi. I'm using Kashi. I think it's right there. I'm running Kashi. Kashi fucking OS. So this is the mining incremental. This is what we had. So you start in that room. In here you have the upgrade tree that was very temporary. You start the day by punching in here, and then what you have is you have meat right over there. You put it in the machine. So the machine in here, it's a test. This is a motor. This is not supposed to run automatically, but this is a motor. It's an upgrade that you have in the future. Then you throw it in here, and it gives you money. Maybe we have time to do another one. Shit, I don't know where I put the other one. And you create sausages, you put it in over here, and then when the day is finished... this is not how it's supposed to close, by the way. Is it? I don't remember. Then you clock out. You go back to your room. You purchase some stuff. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to sleep. You need to close the door first, apparently. And you go to sleep, and there's another day. Ah, shut up. You need to do another day. So this is the thing. And I'm stopping it for two reasons. I wanted to introduce some story elements and stuff, and it was a bit too big. And also the physics aspect of like the meat, the sausages, and everything makes the game a bit more complex than what I want. And I don't feel comfortable doing all of that as fast as I need, because the timeline is we are releasing O.B.O.L at the end of the month. Theoretically, we'd see if we don't move it. We are releasing O.B.O.L at the end of the month. At the end of the month, I need to have the Steam page for my new game up, because I'm registering to the Next Fest. I'm participating in the Next Fest in October, and I release like mid-November, maybe early December. The incremental. So I don't have a lot of time, and I'm simply worried I won't be able to do it. So there's that. And so the new idea potentially is much simpler. I don't even know what I have right now. Okay, let's play in embedded. So what I have right now is practically nothing. I think I didn't do anything. I need to remove the gun. Basically, you would be mining things like that and picking up those. You see, this doesn't even work. So the idea is much simpler. You would be mining stuff. I'm not sure yet if you mine actual blocks or if you mine something else. And it gets crazier and crazier. Bigger blocks, more stuff. You spawn things. It's closer to a node buster, but in 3D. And I know for some people it's going to be less fun, but it's just going to be much easier for me to make. No physics, only simple interactions and full of juice, and it's much more what I'm capable of doing compared to some other things. Of course, you will not have like that movement tech. This is just an old controller that I reused. I will not reuse that because that's freaking stupid. So I'm at the point where I know what the mechanics and everything are going to be. I will need to explore some of it, of course. But I'm at a point where I need to define more like, what is the theme? I think the fantasy is mining stuff down. This is satisfying. Like, you destroy stuff and it turns into more stuff. This is satisfying, and I know it's gonna work. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. The difficulty now is what theme do I use to make sure that people get it and people are interested when seeing it on socials and everywhere. I don't think I want to go as dark as it was with the horror games, because it's not going to be horror themed. So I think it's going to be much brighter. Is it going to be as bright as Bury? Is it Bury first? It's Bury. Okay. I don't think I want to go as bright as this, but I'm going to go closer to this kind of more colorful aesthetic. I'm thinking I might go closer to a weird aesthetic. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm in that genre too. I do an incremental TD minor and 2D though, because 3D is scary. My approach so far is mechanics first. The fantasy is pretty clear for these kind of games. Yeah, but I mean the theme, right? I think the theme is important, especially in 3D. Because one of the reason why this game was so successful, I'm pretty sure it's because the theme of like this colorful mix of like fake garden stuff and fruits is like you're wondering what's happening and you want to see, right? It's like simple and interesting. And so I think I want that. It's so fun. So maybe I can go. What is the name? TD minor. Liminal space incremental. Yeah, liminal space. Existential horror. I like this, and Deep Rock. Is Deep Rock Galactic a good example? Okay, it's quite dark, right? But I could go. Okay, I don't know if it's a good example, but I could go in that direction, right? I think it's too dark for what I want to do, but I could go in that direction where you go. Maybe you know what? I don't know. I'm not excited by that. Maybe it shouldn't be too. It shouldn't be too. It shouldn't be too big. It shouldn't be too big. So what I mean is, if you are like going through mines, mining stuff that is more rare, I think it's going to be too expensive to make. So I can lower the scope, and be closer to bills must be paid by having some sort of environment that looks more like work, maybe. Because I kind of like that work aesthetic, and so maybe you get stuff. You know what I mean? This is why my theme is going to be important, because it's also going to tell me how much work I have to do. In this game, the setting and the theme is quite limited, so the work is mainly on the actual incremental. There's not much outside of the incremental space. I want first person. I still haven't played Deep Rock. It looks fun. I own the game and I've never played it, Trevron, so I'm in the same boat. How are you doing? I guess you were not here at the beginning. I guess you were not here at the beginning, but look, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy? And do you know what game he's playing? He's playing O.B.O.L. He's playing fucking O.B.O.L. And that is fucking cool. Thank you, cell phone. That's just that one film director. Exactly. It would be fun. I guess for some people, they know him as the movie guy, and they don't know the video games and like the YouTube and stuff, right? That's always fun. O.B.O.L, exactly. I think this is the moment I'm going to clip, right? What do you think? Because I want to clip something to share on socials. I think clipping the part where he makes fun of the game name at the beginning, like this is fun. Did he like it? Yeah. He enjoyed it. Yeah, he enjoyed it. And we saw a pretty clear bump in the wish list. I think I still have it right over there. We saw a pretty clear bump on the wish list. So that's pretty cool. That's maybe the best one, but you need to check the full video first. Yeah. I think it's cool because it says the name of the game, but it doesn't spoil anything. Like you can still watch and go watch the video if you want to. Just a little one, yeah. I think he liked it too because it's underwater iron lung. Yeah. As Woland was saying earlier, you don't have that many games that are underwater. So our game doesn't make use of that underwater theme that much, but we are working on it. In the demo, you don't see the underwater theme that much, apart from the occasional fish and stuff like that. But in the dream sequences that Woland started developing, you actually go out in your dream, of course, but you are out in the ocean. So people with thalassophobia and stuff might get triggered a little. That's gonna be pretty cool. Just a little one. Yeah, just a little one. 600 wish list yesterday and 673 so far today. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Honestly, I'm pretty happy. It's still rising. It's pretty cool. So, if you have ideas for the incremental stuff, please don't hesitate, because I need to know. I need to find some stuff to do. I need a good theme to explore. Like maybe you're receiving some sort of junk. It needs to be interesting, so maybe you have a shitty job of like exploding. A shitty job of exploding cubes. Is that really interesting? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter that much as an incremental. It's a thing to write on Reddit and continue to collect wish listing. Like, I made a game and he played my game. Yeah, totally. Locally. Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm farming it. I am farming it. I'm going to make shorts about it. And I'm going to make posts on socials. Like, I have a bunch of bigger streamers that played the game. So I'm just going to share them like, oh, this streamer played the game. That's super cool, blah, blah, blah. And I'm definitely going to make like a Reddit post. Maybe writing a few words about it. We need 50 shorts like that as minimum. Yeah. So this is a type of game where you have energy, right? What do you think? Let's do raise your hand as a vote. What do you prefer in incrementals? If you don't play incrementals, then you don't have the right to vote. I'm sorry. Do you prefer energy-based or time-based? Because it's not the same, right? In energy-based, you are you are forced to stop. Like in both, you are forced to stop, but in energy-based, it's more about optimizing the energy. So finding the right thing to mine, or maybe the right spot to mine, so you can mine 2 blocks at the same time and whatnot. Actually, no, because the energy would get destroyed the same. I don't know. And in time-based, you are rewarded for being efficient and being like going fast from one spot to another, right? I don't know which one I prefer. It feels more logic to have energy. I've never been a fan of time-based. Energy, I find time-based very lazy game design. Also, all the AI slop idle games do time-based. The passage of time gives me anxiety, so I don't find that fun in a game. Interesting. So we have a small sample size of 3, but we have 3 out of 3, and that is enough for me to make a decision. We go with energy-based. Thank you. Game design is so fucking easy. Right? Am I right, fellas? Game design is so fucking easy. I tell you already, we don't have a lot of time left. Let's say 40 minutes left. Energy-based could be ammunition-based, I suppose. Yeah. Depending on how much time I have, I feel like you will need to have more tools to mine. So initially, maybe you mine directly with your fist. That could be a fun GIF, right? Imagine the GIF where you're mining and you're mining with your fist like that. I feel like that's kind of fun. That's kind of like a cool thing. And then you increase that also. You can buy a new mining system and it mines faster and whatnot. Time punishes you for any wrong move, even if it's not your fault. Energy would be you made the mistakes, which feels less punishing. Interesting. This is very interesting because I was... Time-based stuff is cool when it's done right. Yeah. I was actually drawn more towards time. And my logic is the following. When it's time-based, I feel like... That's exactly it, Trevron. I feel like I'm being rewarded because I have a certain amount of time and then it's up to me, right? So I can be like, okay, I'm gonna go there. I have 3 blocks, so I'm going to be able to mine them and then go there. It's going to be efficient and whatnot. Even if it's the illusion, I have a sense of like agency. I can decide where I want to go and what I do. When it's energy based, it feels like no matter what I do, I lose energy if I mine. So I might as well be lazy and just mine what's in front of me. You see what I mean? Whereas in time-based, I might get the sense that going further to mine something bigger makes more sense. These games where they blend photorealistic textures with filters. I'm thinking about that, Animus. I've been thinking about going through... going with that style for a while. I don't know if I will have the balls to do it, but maybe I should, right? Maybe I should. Let me show you what I mean by that. There's a very good example of that kind of game recently. What is the name of the game? What is the game of the name? If I search for GMTK, I will find it. I don't mind time when it's something like 10 minutes. Okay, yeah. That would not be 10 minutes, right? It would be super short, I guess. Do that plus liminal space environment. Yeah, that could do well. Yes, this is a good example. So there are plenty of other examples out there. But I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. Let me show you. I don't know if you've played the game, but what? By the way, very cool game. But look at how the hand is just a real hand with a filter on it. and then it switches from different things, and it's just animated using a bunch of squash and stretch. This is pretty cool, right? Time Cap feels like a mobile clicker game. You just make a 3D minute, and you will have at least one purchase. It's not going to be a 3D minute. I'm sorry. Cool AF aesthetic. Yeah, the aesthetic is on point. If you like that kind of almost, how do you call that? Almost prototypey feel. You should fucking look at Polycube, because he's a fucking genius. I mean, look at that. Everything looks good. It's simple aesthetic and it looks fucking good. It's always so simple and yet so you can pick whatever. You can pick whatever and it's going to look cool. One of the best example is this. Look at this game. I would pay for this game. I would fucking pay for this game, even though it's just a bunch of cubes. It's so fucking juicy and reactive. I'm like, oomph, feed it to me. He is so good. I think the photorealistic hand is being overdone now. It needs to be feet instead. Ah. Interesting initial. Interesting. Interesting. Big toe. Oh, you guys. I need to apply what we just learned while watching Markipliers, right? You give things so people can have fun with your game. They can discuss your game. They can latch onto stupid things. An incremental game where you mine cubes with your toe. And it's called Brick Toe. It's called Camel Toe because there's a camel in the game. No, that's too much. Lighting. Yeah. Needs to be feet. Cool aesthetic. Lynchian. Mining toe. But the problem with mining toe is that it has to rely on that feet picks. So then maybe we stay with feet. We stay with the feet aesthetic, and so your feet just becomes better, right? Like at some point you get a second feet to hit faster. Then you put a boot on it. You put boots on it, or you put like special things to make it faster, stuff like that. And you call it steel feet. Steel feet. Did you see Anger Foot? Yes. Anger Foot is super cool. I actually like the Jam version more, to be honest. I also like the crazy music. I love that. Oh, by the way, I've been playing Sectori recently. Speaking of crazy music, I've been playing Sectori. Oh. How the fuck did I miss that game? The worst thing about me missing the game is that I reached out to the dev when I worked on Hyperslice to do a bundle, but unfortunately they don't do bundles. I finally started playing the game. It is like crack. It is fucking amazing. If you like arcadey games like Geometry Wars or other games, like, it is so freaking good. And the music, it's nuts. it's the kind of game you play and you're like, I would like to be that dev. I would like to be the dev that is making this game. You know, it's a jealousy that is very positive. You're like inspired. This is super cool. It's hard, but you get in the flow. The music is crazy. You're shooting everywhere. It's full of good game design decisions. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to make a small video about it, talking about some of the game design decisions that have been made, because I think they are super clever to renew this kind of like roguelike genre. There are some small decisions that are making the game really interesting and fun to play. And yeah, it's just so freaking amazing. It's like launched on my Steam Deck at all time. It's like launched on my Steam Deck as all time. It's like right there. It's ready. It's ready to play because I'm just playing whenever I have time. I'm just playing it whenever I have time. Have you seen the puzzle game? He Who Watches. No. I'm not that much into puzzle games, to be honest. But I think I need to stop talking because I need to stop talking because what? I've seen it actually. I need to stop talking because I have 30 minutes left and I need to make some progress. I like the idea of the feet though. Also, I'm a feet enjoyer myself, so maybe making a game about that. Oh my god. That could be a great short. That could be a great short. The marketing is writing itself, right? Imagine the short starting like that. I like feet. So I made a game about them. Okay, it's not exactly what you imagined, but it's still cool, right? It's something like that. That's cool. So what is the game about? It's like Portal, but with an arrow. I don't understand what's going on. And there's a demo. Walk on walls, manipulate gravity, discover secrets. First-person puzzle game. Delve deep into the ancient labyrinth of intricate conundrums, seeking an imprisoned god at the center. You know what? I'm downloading it, and maybe we give it a try tomorrow. I hate puzzle games, usually. But why not? Rage bait marketing. Yeah, rage bait marketing. Do you like feet? Are you a feet enjoyer, or are you a moron? Like something like that, you know? Something a little bit rage baity? Are you a feet enjoyer, or are you a vanilla person, or whatever? And then you will like my game. And then people will comment and will be like, oh my god, we want the feet of that person and stuff, and I will be like, no. Or I can let them think that maybe I'm gonna put the feet that they want. Plus, it's a no-brainer for foot fetishists. Win-win. You're right. You guys are good. You guys should make games. You should make games. What game was cancelled? Oh, I need to change the title. We're not doing that anymore. Maybe you should hire us. With what money, Lopoli? With what money? Unfortunately, I can if you want, but with that amount of money. Speaking of fetishes, what an interesting sentence. What an interesting start of a sentence. We recently had a guy in my town arrested for stealing panties from people's house, and his actual name was John P. Stalker. So now people joke John Panty Stalker. Oh my god. The guy stealing panties, that is nuts. So it's a double fetish, right? right? It's not just panties, it's also the fetish of like doing something that you're not supposed to. Oh, that is nuts. Imagine managing to break into people's house just to steal panties. That is fucking nuts. Central Wisconsin. That is nuts. By the way, speaking of nuts, this is a great capsule. I had the GMTK Game Jam on the side because I was looking for a game. This is a great capsule. I'm pretty sure this game was clicked on a lot just because of the capsule. Having that kind of capsule art in a game jam, crazy. But some like look at this, guys. Look at this. Some of the capsules, like look at this one, Hikori, sorry. Look at this. This looks like a Steam capsule. Isn't that crazy? Even the deepest dive, it looks pretty clean. Even this one, pretty clean. The level in GMTK is nuts. Look at that, Catabomb. This is made for Steam already, like it's dropping on Steam in 2 days. What the fuck is that? People are too good. How do you want to compete with that? This one is fun. Wormholes. Oh! This is giving me an idea. I don't know what the game is about, okay? I don't know what the game is about. 10 million clicks together. What about an incremental game, but multiplayer? What about that? Like an actual kind of MMO incremental game. Don't ask me how it works, I don't know. But you have a bunch of people incrementally going towards a common goal. For real, how do people allocate the resource for a jam capsule? A team. I'm pretty sure it's a team. It's a team. I'm hearing ya. How does it work? No, I don't know. There's a few of these out there. Really? XQ? I saw some random statistics which said 60% of games was made by Godot. Yeah. Just by Godot itself. Like, inside of Godot, there's a button. You can press it, and it makes a game for you. But no, it's the biggest engine in the jam. It's the biggest share is with Godot. Which is not surprising because honestly, the opposite is kind of surprising actually. The amount of people still using Unity for hobbyists. Sorry, I can't formulate sentences. Doing game jams is quite nuts. When Godot, in my opinion, is a better choice. But then, of course, if you know Unity, you use Unity. I understand that. There was a game like that on iOS back in the Cube something, which was a scam. Oh, okay. Wasn't it made by Mr. Beast or something? Click together. So I'm pretty sure this is a multiplayer game, right? There's a replay for anyone that missed it. Hit 0. Thanks to everyone who played. Okay, so that's it. Wow. Now, this is cool. Honestly, this is cool. If there is no game out there with more than just clicking a button, some people need to do an incremental, which has like kind of two ways of playing. For example, I'm imagining it that way. You play the incremental and you finish it, and when you finish it, you realize that you are contributing to a bigger incremental that is played by a bunch of people. And then when you finish it, you unlock that. You unlock a new mode where you just where you just do the incremental, but like the worldwide incremental, and maybe there's a new one each day, or a new one each week, or a new one even like every hour, so that people can join in on different levels. Gamedev is making a single player incremental. Yeah, but he's working on a co-op incremental, not like an MMO incremental. I understand the idea of making it co-op, like you play with one other person or maybe two other people, but I'm talking about an incremental where like a lot of people are playing. Idle on, is that an incremental that is played by a bunch of people? The incremental idle MMO where your heroes keep fighting while you're gone, spend their loot on upgrades, unlock classes from elemental. Okay, but it's more like an idle. And you're not playing online, right? Online co-op. But how is it online? Your character works together, but how is it online? I think there's an interesting mix to do between something that is very idle-like and something that is a normal short incremental, but where you actually play with other people on a common goal or something. It's very difficult to pull off, but yeah. Oh, look at that! This is so freaking cool. Actually, this gives me an idea for O.B.O.L. I'm gonna put that on the site because it gives me an idea for O.B.O.L. This is cool. This looks cool. Very simple yet clear. It gives you the genre. It tells you what the genre is going to be. Wow. Wow. If you want to get better at making thumbnails, honestly, going through a big jam like that and analyzing the thumbnails, understanding why some of them catch your attention or not, is a very good exercise. Like when I scroll, some of them are just popping up. Like this one popped up, this one popped up. This one, not that much, because I think everything is the same color. If maybe that was a different color, this would pop more. This one popped, in a way, because the background is simple and there's just the text. This is really interesting. I might do that, actually. Wow. Wow. So people are doing really cool stuff. You can clearly see that sometimes they're just making a thumbnail with the game that they have, and sometimes it looks like people have artists in their team. Like at the top right there, like those are made by, I think there's an artist in here. Oh, there is Jonas in here, and Blackthorn and stuff. Okay, so this is why. This has an artist, I'm pretty sure. This one might, I don't know. This is interesting. Think new world, but 2D incremental idler MMO. Ah, so Jonas was part of that. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of the art style, but it looks more interesting than the usual Blackthorn stuff, to be honest. I'm kind of fed up of their art style. It's not really my taste, but having the mix of their like 2D drawing in the 3D space is kind of refreshing. I like that a bit more. Okay. Go on steamdb.info, check out the incremental tag, and filter by multiplayer and sort by popular. Yeah. I mean, this was just an idea. I don't really want to make a multiplayer MMO, right? I don't really care. I just wanted to check. I just wanted to check if it was something. Like it's just that it gave me the idea. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I don't have a lot of time. I have even less time than earlier. So I think what we can do is we can put the energy, maybe, right? So let's put a progress bar. Because today I'm sorry, but I'll finish not too late. I'm also going to put this in here. Call that margin. Oh, by the way. Sorry, I'm everywhere. I don't have ADHD, I promise. I don't. If you think that I have, then I don't. And I just saw something new, so I now have to show you. I'm sorry. Stuffed Wombat is announcing a new game, so I need to check out what it is. I will go back to work, Initial. I will go back to work. But this is kind of my work, right? I'm making money from Twitch. Not really. Not really. If one of you subscribes or donates, then I can justify that as working. And usually, someone, like, during the week, at least there's like one donation or something. So we can consider that working, right? It's fine. Tell my mom I'm working. Tell my mom I'm working. Mrs. Tips and tricks. He made a video about that. This was interesting. I looked at this morning, and it was interesting. So it's a bunch of tips and tricks from Mrs. Most notably, interesting things about like pseudo 3D. He's showing how he's making pseudo 3D in 2D, how he's working with shadows and stuff like that. It's a bunch of small things. That was interesting. 2D decals is very simple. That was interesting. The sub viewport cutout shader. That was an interesting technique where basically he's using a light. I guess there are other ways to do it, but it's really interesting how he seems very avert from coding stuff, and he's just trying to use the engine as much as possible, and I love that. So this is a light. This is a light that is then being occluded by light occluders. And then he's using a sub-viewport to look at the resulting area of that light, like pixel-wise, and then he's using this as a mask to drive the particles and stuff in here. There are probably a bunch of other ways to do that, and I guess you could do some math. You could do some ray casting and stuff. But maybe this is an easy way because it's a visual way. You can just slap it onto the world and you don't have to think about it, right? So I recommend watching it. It's the actual presentation is relatively short. It's like 15 minutes, and then there's a bunch of questions at the end, which is interesting. Okay, before I go back to work, announcing Marble Souls by Stuffed Wombat. If you don't know who Stuffed Wombat is, it's the developer behind Mussolina and a bunch of other games, but most notably Mussolina. And Full Structure that I loved. I made a video about Full Structure. If you are interested, I made a video about it in here. I made a video about Full Structure, Mussolina, and oh, it was amazing. I loved this video and I loved Full Structure. It's like Dark Souls mixed with Monkey Ball. What the fuck? I love the camera placement. Marble Souls. And it's releasing in 2026? There is a game about that. There is a game about rolling, actually, that is releasing very soon. Which is fun, because when you think about it, it's a first-person rolling game. So if you are interested, Marble Souls, I know I'm going to be interested. Usually what Stuffed Wombat does is freaking cool. Gut Whale was really cool. Giboler was really cool. Producer I didn't play. Mussolina is just amazing. Mussolina is it's one of the best game I've played in my life. Both as a player and as a designer, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I insist. It's really good. And Full Structure is really fun. It's really fun and it's free, so there's no reason to not play it. In before stupid people saying Megabonk clone. I'm pretty sure some people are going to do modding and add like enemies and stuff, and it's going to actually become a Mega Bonk clone, right? Okay, so we want the margins. Let me just add some margins. And there is no health. I think we can remove that. End screen and everything, we don't care. The message, we don't care, because we are not going to use that. This is the energy progress. I guess it can be big. Do you like when energy bars are really big? What should be the color? I like green. I usually like green. We don't have percentages. Show percentage. Do I change it? Do I make it like an int? And you have a certain amount of energy, and I make it an int? What do you think about that? Maybe. So the idea with this game is that I need to move fast, which is going to be hard. I need to work on it a little bit every day as we are releasing a game. So let me tell you that it's going to be difficult. And this is an example of an art style that I find super interesting. Maybe something I could lean towards something like that, like weird visuals, colorful visuals, but with a retro PS1 aesthetic. But I think I'm gonna lean towards something a bit stupid looking like that. I think it would go well with the incremental, right? So, CS 1.6 map. It was the CS 1.6 map? Really? I didn't even recognize it. No, just stylistic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, very, very simple shapes, very rough texturing. I see what you mean. 1.6 was rough. I played 1.6. But after I played CS Source. So going back was difficult. Rough experience. Yeah, rough experience. And I didn't like the switch to CS the switch to CS Go. Type label. Yeah, I'm going to remove that. Oh my god, I'm making zero progress. Because we don't have that gun type and everything. I don't have this shit. Also, I could make that spawning. I think this will show only when you start hitting it. I will have another progress, which will be reload progress, something like that. Where would you put reloading, on the left or on the right? Or on the mouse? What do you prefer? What do you prefer? Imagine a circle or something, okay? Imagine a circle or something. I'm just trying to see if it's not too bad in here. I mean, it could work, right? If it's not there all the time, if it's just there when you're reloading, that way you don't have to see it all the time. Circle's right side of mouse transparent. Circle, right side of mouse transparent. I would put the circle outside of the mouse. I would put it on top of it, like around it. Like half circle. I see. Why half circle? Sorry. I think I'll do the progress. I have too much stuff already. Did you figure out how to make your game match your Final Fantasy? We started talking, and I think I like the idea of mining whatever. We'll figure out what we do. But mining with feet, it's going to be feet related. We already know the theme for this new incremental game. Mining something, and probably feet related. Like we're using our feet, like, to mine the stuff initially. That way it's good for feet enjoyers, which represent probably like 50% of the population, maybe even more. Kindrak, by the way, are you okay if I cut the review I made of your game and I post it on my YouTube channel, but not the main one, the clip one, the one where I stream, which is like there's no one on it. Because the VOD exists, but I would like to extract it out of the VOD as like a separate video, if you're okay. I do that sometimes, or I need to do it more often, actually. Feet are for the mining Lego. Oh. Ah, oh. Hey. Maybe there's something here. Sure, okay. Thank you so much. I link your itch page, of course. Hey, other gubbins. Feet are for mining Legos. Might be onto something. Might be onto something. Hobbit mining. Then you have to pull the bricks out of your soul. I don't know. But yeah. I did nothing, basically. I did nothing and I need to go. That's amazing. Maybe we just do the... Ken Dash and everything. Let's just do that, at least. Okay? Let's just do can hit... bool is equal to true. All of the variables will need to move it to somewhere else. But at the moment, reload time, we have it in here, so we are going to count and I'm going to have a count somewhere around here for then you have to pull the bricks. If you're mining with your feet, does that mean you're going to be doing kickboxing in the rocks? Yeah, kind of. You're going to do like and then with 2 feet. I think that could be cool. Why? I'm gonna call that reload duration. Because the time is not that. The fuck did I do? I'm doing that in physics process. I'm doing that in physics process, what the fuck? You should stand up and show us your feet. I promise I won't clip it, but I'll only find signs. You can trust. Yes, of course. What? What is happening? Is Godot crashing? Oh, it's been a while. Godot loves to crash on when doing Windows for some reason. When it's showing Windows, it's going to lag for a second. I'll be there. And I'm back. It usually lags pretty bad when I kill it for some reason. Incremental minor 3D. Okay, so what were we doing? We were doing playground, reload progress. Yeah, I was attaching a script to UI UD. I'm gonna call that reload UI. I don't know if I call it directly or not. I'm tempted to do just that. I'm tempted to call it directly because relying on signals can be a pain if you want to do specific things. I'm not sure, to be honest. It doesn't matter that much. I can always change it. But the problem is if I don't do it there, I'm just going to have a bunch of globals. And yeah, no. The problem is that if we do this, we are just going to have a gazillion. Yeah. A gazillion things. What? Reload started doesn't exist, right? My NA10 is broken, guys. My NA10 is broken. I need to check out why. And I need to go also. I think it's Twitch category watcher, right? Execution error. Problem in node HTTP. Authorization failed. Please check your credentials. Ah, for fuck's sake. I don't remember how I'm supposed to do it. Give me a sec, okay? Credentials. Okay. Twitch token fetcher. Execute. Get Twitch token. Worked successfully. Okay. Does that mean that this is working now? Execute workflow. Okay. I fixed it. That was a very easy fix. So if it's a very easy fix and it doesn't mean it doesn't need me to do anything, but usually this needs something manual, right? Otherwise I could run that periodically to fetch the token. I'm not sure. Anyway, good thing it's fixed. So reload started. The problem is that I will have a bunch of reload. Maybe I just put it on the player. No one... It doesn't have to be a global signal, right? But then I need to have the reference to the player. No. I hate sometimes the beginning because you need to make decisions about how you're going to do stuff, and I know myself, I'm never going to refactor. So if it's not the way I want, I'm just never going to change it, which is a pain. I should actually call a function called reload. I should call a function called reload, which is in here. It's been a while since I've coded stuff. It feels good. It feels good to code some stuff. So in here we'll call reload. Reloading is true. Physics process. In here, we're done. Why is it you don't refactor? Because I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy, and honestly, sometimes it's not necessary. Developers have a tendency to take too much, care too much about their code and not about the final product. And realistically, it doesn't matter. There are many times where the thing is there, it somewhat works, you don't care. It's just that as a developer, sometimes it's painful to use. So if it's really painful, I might take the time to refactor. But if it's slightly not good, I will not refactor. If it works, it works, yeah. I'm going to sign up for your 1-hour game dev help session, but my game is going to be the most inappropriate game imaginable. Inappropriate in what way, Peacebreaker? At least until you have proof for your prototype. Yeah. So let's just try to do this, right? I'm gonna create a tween. Let's call it tween reload to be very clear about what's happening. I don't think I have my if tween, but I can do tween reload utils kill and create tween. The tween is tween reload, process during pause, false, bind to self. My tween is going to be nothing specific, right? So I'm just going to do tween property. I want to tween on self. It's called value. And do I change the duration every time? I guess we could do that. So maybe I do max value is equal to duration. And before that, I make sure that value is at 0. And then I treat in value until duration. In duration. That should work, right? Let's see. Why can I restart though? I should not be able to. The reload sound effects is horrible, so we'll change it. Of course, because right now it sounds horrible. Can't talk about it on Steam if it's that inappropriate on stream. Okay. Too bad. You moved up in a world. I can now change your stream settings to a lower quality. So I can listen to you in my car and still see your face, which isn't really part of the blessing. Fuck you, Peacebreaker. Yeah, something changed recently. I don't know what happened. When I was not streaming, I got access to a bunch more stuff. Okay, it now works. Am I going to keep it over there? I don't know. Probably not. Also, this fucking message is going to be hidden, and that is going to be like this and like that. And all of those things are going to be locked. This beautiful reload UI at the end. Let's do things properly right away, because why not? I'm going to self-modulate.8, and I'm going to go to 0 in 0.1. Or I do it here. Yeah. Why not? I should do self-modulate. It's better to do self. Right? All of you prefer self, I hope. And in here you want to do that in para fucking lel, and you want to go to 1. Let's see. Initially it's hidden. You click. Okay. It's not the kind of juice that I want, but it's here. We need to know. We need to restart. We need to restart only. We need to restart only if what? We need to restart only if we hit something. We need to, not the kind of juice we want, but the kind of juice we got. Yeah, unfortunately. We'll have to deal with that. But then we'll make some proper juice. This game will be cartoony. Speaking of cartoony, I have a video coming up on Patreon first, and probably Sunday on the second channel, about different kinds of juice. I'm talking about cartoony juice, more realistic juice, and stuff like that. The difference, and showing you some examples and whatnot. I mean, jokes aside, I'm happy to be able to listen to you more now. That's cool, Peacebreaker. And I mean, it's cool for everyone that you guys have access to lower quality. Some other people were complaining that the quality, that they couldn't change the quality, and depending on the internet connection that you have, it's actually very difficult to stream 1080p, especially if you are on the go and stuff. So that's also why I started restreaming on YouTube, because on YouTube you have much better control over the quality, and the YouTube player is just much better. YouTube in terms of video player is unmatched. It's capable of showing you video even when you have very shitty internet. That's pretty good. But yeah, what I meant to say is that it was going to be juicy. So my player, when we hit Hurtbox hit, var hit, hit something, and we are going to early return, and let's go over here. Let's return bool var hit something bool false. Okay. So now theoretically it doesn't work, and now it works. Good. We made a simple fix, but that's good. Make some progress. That's the thing, right? Progress. And now the goal, starting from now, the goal is going to be progress every day. It's going to be hard. Let's be honest, it's going to be hard, but I kind of need the money, so I'm gonna do something about. I'm gonna reuse the crosshair I made in the other incremental, so that the crosshair will tell you if you can hit something or not. Like right now, you have no idea. Like you're too far, and here you're not too far. You see. Also, I need to make those detect me. So I guess we can do... Should we pick it up? Should we pick them up manually at the beginning? Should that be part of the game? Should that be part of the incremental part? What do you think? Like, you mine that. It's fucking slow. You mine those things, and at the beginning, you need to pick them manually. And then you can just go on there and pick them up. And they go towards you. Like you have a magnet. I think this is a typical incremental stuff. Right? And I killed myself on the music. That's perfect. Magnet, are your hire workers to pick it up for you? I think both. I think I want you to be able to pick up stuff. So it also makes sense to give you more speed and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm imagining small turrets to do the mining for you. I'm imagining small turrets. Initially, I was imagining small turrets that would throw, but maybe they can do other stuff. If we go towards the feet, instead of being like 3D turrets, they could be throwing something else, like throwing floppies or something. What do you think? Because I want the AI to be simple. I don't want to have to code AI that does pathfinding or whatever. So I don't think I want the things to move around. You know, I'm imagining a small turret that deploys. Oh, maybe that could be cool. Actually, something like that. I was imagining a small turret that would deploy from time to time, right? It's not there all the time. It just, you have a random chance to deploy a turret whenever you're hitting something, or a drone. I could do it with a drone, because drones are easier to program. They can just go wherever they want. But at the same time, a little drone with inverse kinematics like that, a little robot with inverse kinematics like that, that would move around, and you can kick it, and it falls. That's kind of fun, right? That's kind of fun. And you can like, yeah, doing inverse kinematics with this is kind of easy. And when they're too tired, they drop on the floor or something. Or they explode after some time. They are limited time only. I like this idea. I'm putting that on the side. I like this idea, actually. It's a lot more work than a simple drone. But at the same time, it's pretty freaking cool. And I think in life we have to do cool stuff. I mean, this is also cool, kind of. Right? But this is too serious. This looks too good. You kick him in the ass so he keeps mining with barefoot. Oh, yeah. The same way you do it on that incremental game from the developer of Astro Prospector. Do you know what I mean? I can find it. Oh, the search on itch is so bad. Hole is Mine. In Hole is Mine, you have those small dudes that work for you, and they get tired, and I think you can, if I remember correctly, you can do something to revive them. That is interesting. I like the idea. Okay, so I'm grabbing that on the side. Incremental. I'm mentioning this. So, inverse kinematics robot miner that pops to help you. You kick them to revive them. Moles. Mootsies. Moles. Yeah, if you're using your feet as the main mechanic, I would shy away from technology as much as possible. It just seems to not make sense. It doesn't vibe with the same. Yeah, totally. We need to find a way. To make it work. You give her massive claws. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So this is the heart box. We have a pickup area. Pickup area small. The pickup area is small. It's not small at all. But I can do the same thing over there, right? I can see you doing like a soccer ball or something, a mining ball that you kick and it ricochets off the different ores and stuff and mines them. Then it turns into a robot and collected the ores. Just mine it would be different. Yeah. I think it's also fine, you know, because the idea that the technology doesn't necessarily is not necessarily a problem. It can be shitty technology in a way. As you get richer, the technology can be better. It's just that you start mining with your feet, because initially I thought when we were discussing it, I said I was saying it would be fun to mine with your bare hands, but of course chat suggested doing it with the feet. That's more fun, and I'm like, yeah, of course, it's less overdone and it's kind of cool. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna write just a few tasks for next time. Use energy. I'm gonna write energy. Calculate as we hit. UI, and I'm gonna say click to pick up output, and I'm gonna say automatic pickup. I don't think I want something like I want something simple, you know. The main mechanic, I want it to be very simple, and the craziness is going to be in the various things that you're going to unlock and in the juiciness of the game. But I want the main mechanic to be relatively simple. I want to go too far with something too complex. You broke scrap dealer in a post-apocalyptic Earth. Yeah, losing hands and feet and shitty robots. Yeah. Yeah, I think the brokenness can be. I was thinking about that. It feels very scrapyard and stuff like that, right? It feels very scrapyard. There can also be a play on word with holding yourself by your bootstraps. What is the saying in English? To hold yourself by your bootstraps? Is that the thing? Maybe there's a play on word in here. Maybe it's too long as a title, like hold yourself by your feet or something. There's probably something to do. It goes well. I can have a shitty scrapyard where you build more and more contraptions. The visuals, yeah, I need to think about it. How much do I want to do assets and stuff? Because the easiest, let's be honest, the easiest would have been you're mining ore. So you have those blocks, either actual rocks or blocks, like Minecraft blocks, and you're just mining them, and then you can so fucking easily make them change their color, add like a gold inside or whatever mining material. So I know it's a little cheap in what it is, but it has the benefit of being very simple to produce, and I have very limited amount of time. And what I'm afraid of, if I start using the scrap stuff, is that I will have too much stuff to do. Also, it's much easier to do... No, I don't know. It needs a soccer ball. Maybe there can be a soccer ball just for fun, you know? There can be a soccer ball as a secondary mechanic that you unlock. There can be a soccer ball as a secondary mechanic. You're right. I think you're right. The soccer ball can be unlocked later, and when you kick it, it bounces off stuff as you suggested, and so and so you gain a bunch more hits. And you can have, and then you can unlock a kicker. You can unlock a kicker robot that goes towards the bull and tries to kick it. You know what? It's not a bad idea. I think I just need to find the right balance between very cool and time consuming. And I need to, again, if we take the example of bills must be paid, I think they did a very great job because the environment is super simple, but it looks good enough because of the pigs are fun and you want to play with the pigs, you know. And then it's super cheap to make. Like, honestly, making all of these pigs, it probably takes like an afternoon. It's so fucking easy. They're just different textures, or sometimes they have like a slightly different characteristics, like they have a hat or something. It's so fucking easy to make. And I kind of need something like that. You know what I mean? I kind of need something simple. Anything you can kick, yeah. Long range mining, still using your feet. It could be a bomb, but not ricochet. Yeah. Yeah. This is such a good example. This is a great thing. The good thing about the feet stuff is that you can have a capsule like that, right? You can easily imagine a capsule where, like a POV kick. POV, not the opposite. Oh, look at how stupid people are. I mean, POV, you're getting kicked, but this is the opposite of what I want. I want POV. You're giving a kick, you motherfucker. Not POV, you're getting kicked. POV, throwing kick. Are people stupid? Is there no fucking POV of that? But you get the idea, right? You imagine the opposite of that. You imagine the POV of throwing a kick like this on the thumbnail. With like a big thing that is getting destroyed and the title. That would work well, right? Mine kick. They're showing, this is new, no? They're showing the publisher at the bottom of the little icon over there. So you see that it's being published by Devolver and in here by Free Lives. Interesting. Oh, Runer is a really cool game. If you have $2 to spare, and you like top-down shooters, Runer is a really cool game with cool music, cool visuals. I enjoyed it a lot. I played it on the Steam Deck a while ago, I think. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. Okay, it's enough for me. I was supposed to finish 30 minutes ago. Thank you so much, guys. That was super cool today. That was super cool. We talked about what? We talked about a bunch of stuff. We watched the video from Jonas and we had a good discussion. I worked a tiny bit on the game, but it motivated me. We saw that Markiplier played the game. That was cool. So thank you so much for being here. We are raiding Jotson. And I will be live again tomorrow. And tomorrow I don't know what we do. Maybe we work a bit on O.B.O.L. We'll see. Alright, thank you for being here. Have fun. I'm still not entertained. Sorry, Peacebreaker. You will be entertained by watching Jotson, don't worry. See you tomorrow. Bye!
forgot how much fun particle systems are. Hey, Mr. Elliptic, how you doing?